He is our teacher, a guru for us for a long time since 1986. Please help me welcome Professor Dr. T. Rajeshwari. Madam, welcome.
Namaste, madam. Welcome.
Thank you.
In a time when few women dared to step into leadership roles in medicine, Dr. Rajeshwari shattered barriers and set new benchmarks. A celebrated educator, administrator, and researcher, she has shaped the future of medical education in India. Her legacy is one of excellence, resilience, and breaking the glass ceiling in healthcare and academia.
Ex-syndicate member of RGUHS, ex-senate member of RGUHS, ex-academic council member, ex-chairperson postgraduate board of studies of RGHS, ex-chairperson of the undergraduate board, member of BOS. You look 50 years old. Are you having 48 hours in a day, or what's going on here? You have to put a camera behind you and see what are you doing. Are you running two jobs, three jobs?
2004, when I ranked second to AIMS New Delhi, Madam Sudhamurthy, the Infosys chief, called me up. She said, I want to come and meet you. I want to meet an efficient woman like you. I want to come to Bangalore Medical College. The one more woman, achiever, such a big achiever. I said, Madam, it's not the you coming to see me, I should come to see you. I took her appointment. I asked her when should I come. She said, right now. Sometimes your nature changes with the situations which you occupy.
Which is very important.
Yeah, very important. Nobody will believe to what I grew and how I became so strong, because I was so timid when I was an undergraduate student.
None of us will believe you, madam, if you actually say that.
So when I occupied the chair of the dean, I was already 20 years as a professor. Nobody had 3 years. They were having 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. I was the senior most in the state of Karnataka, senior most in the Bangalore Medical College. My teachers and my husband were junior to me. So only when men accept you as a leader can you lead.
Correct.
You don't have the cooperation of men, you can't lead.
Very true.
You will not be a successful woman. So I said, in my life I studied. I said, the first man in my life who made me, no woman can prosper and come up if the men are not there in her life. I was the only woman in the country. Along with these three people, I got the award for contribution of what I did to health education and medical education. Then I told him, I'm a great fan of yours, sir. He said, Madam, I need your blessings to run this country, he told me. He's standing there when he's giving the award, he told me that. So I again was amazed with the way he put it across, so humble and straight, telling what was needed to serve the country.
Women make up nearly half of India's college graduates. Yet, they hold only 19% of senior leadership roles in corporate India. Despite their qualifications, many struggle to climb the ladder in male-dominated fields, facing systematic barriers, workplace biases, and the constant challenge of balancing professional ambition with societal expectations. For many, the struggle isn't just about breaking glass ceilings. It's about overcoming the guilt imposed on them when they prioritize their careers. It's about dealing with biological realities that are rarely acknowledged. Postpartum depression, PMDD, and PMS, issues that deeply affect women's well-being but are often dismissed as minor inconveniences. This Women's Day, let's recognize their challenges, support their journeys, and create spaces where their success isn't the exception but the norm. A very happy Women's Day to all the incredible women who define their own paths. Whether you choose to build a career, run a household, or balance both, your choices are yours to make, and that is your power.
ജ്ഞാനാനന്ദമയം ദേവം നിർമ്മലസ്ഫടികാകൃതിം ആധാരം സർവവിദ്യാനാം ഹയഗ്രീവം ഉപാസ്മഹേ ആധാരം സർവവിദ്യാനാം ഹയഗ്രീവ ഉപാസ്മഹേ ഹയഗ്രീവ ഉപാസ്മഹേ.
Rebooting the brain, powered by PRS Neurosciences. Namaste. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu,
गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः.
Namaste, everybody. Welcome to our podcast exclusive for neurosciences and related subjects called Rebooting the Brain. I am Dr. Sharan Srinivasan, a stereotactic and functional neurosurgeon from Bangalore, India. On the occasion of International Women's Day, International Women's Month, or whatever you want to call it, we have two incredible women with us, very, very successful doctors professionally, amazing mothers and spouses who have done justice to everything that they've laid their hands on. So let me introduce the two women to you. They mean a lot to me in my life. First is my second mother, Professor T. Rajeshwari. Madam,
Namaste.
Namaste.
you cannot imagine how much love we have for you.
The
You know,
same
you
in return.
cannot
I
imagine.
look at you as my children.
Absolutely.
You've been
Thank you so
successful
much,
children
ma'am.
of my life.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So to introduce you to Professor Rajeshwari, she was the first director cum dean for the Transform Bangalore Medical College Research Institute, where it morphed from being a government medical college of Karnataka State to an autonomous institute. She also was the director cum dean of MEJ Medical College, and then she was also the director of quality of assurance and accreditation of the Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Health Sciences of Karnataka State. She is presently holding the designation of medical advisor of a rural medical college called East Point Medical College, and she has brought a lot of laurels in that field. If you think that is good enough, let me read some more things for you. Her academic experience, you cannot imagine. Madam, that's all I can say.
Thank you for
very
those
much
compliments.
for who you have been and what you have done.
I'm very proud to have been your teacher for the most intelligent students of mine at Bangalore Medical College.
Thank you.
I feel
Thank
it is
you,
an
ma'am.
honor.
Sorry, I've troubled you too much when I
Yeah,
was
I
a
can
child.
never forget you. Your mischief brought me in close contact with you because
Thank you.
I've not lost touch with you even till today
God.
because of that nature of yours,
Got it.
which I adore and appreciate.
Thank you very much.
And your wife as well.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
let me introduce to you my best friend, my soulmate is one who's on my right. Wife is always right, there's a say, no? She's on my
Yes, I'm
right.
right.
Dr. Pratibha Sharan. So first of all, like I said, she's my best friend, my soulmate. We were classmates from first year MBBS in Bangalore Medical College. That means we know each other for now 37, 38 years. And I'll tell you a secret, don't tell her. We have never fought till today. And I'm telling
That's what.
I'm telling this on camera, okay? So you can hold me to account for that. So she, apart from being whatever she has achieved as a national, junior yoga champion, national junior swimming champion, state roller skating champion, she knows Bharatnatyam, she knows this, she knows, I don't know what she doesn't know. That's the easiest way for me to do. But right now, apart from being a full-time neuro rehab consultant, helping so many patients get better, she's a neuropsychologist. She does the software business of the brain, helping people get their memory back, those who have lost it because of stroke, head injury, and things like that. She's the CEO of a large rehab company called PRS Neurosciences, and she's also the managing trustee of an NGO that she runs called Swasthya Arogya Foundation, which does a lot of charity for poor patients. So with these two successful women next to me, I have to be a little careful, firewall myself and see what's going on. But welcome to both of you.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
pleasure and honor to be chatting
Welcome,
with
ma'am.
both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam, now we have to, if I keep on talking this in another 8-9 hours, we have to talk to you. So I'm going to go to some of these awards. This award itself is going to a couple of pages. I'm going to pick up some key awards. The first thing is you received the Global Health Summit Award 2014, a special award in health education, given to you by our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. Tell us about what this award is and what it meant to you when you got an award from him.
It so happened the American Association of Physicians of Indian origin had gained access to my CV of what
Okay.
I did at Bangalore Medical College when I was the dean, what I did at MVJ Medical College, the Rural Medical College, and what was my role as a director of quality assurance and accreditation. And finally, that was a stage when everything got together, and I was identified by them, and I was called for this summit. Global Health Summit at Ahmedabad that took place, and Narendra Modi was then the Prime Minister, 2014. You won't believe it was an amazing welcome to the NRIs who came in, and the only vibrations took place in that hall. are uttering only the name of Modi. The moment he started talking, vibration started, and everybody was worshipping as Modi, Modi, Modi was the scream. They didn't allow anything to be heard. That was the frenzy attitude of all the American Association of Physicians of Indian origin.
Oh, they were saying all this, huh?
Yeah,
Oh.
they only.
My
They were
goodness.
the people who arranged for this function.
Okay.
The representatives were from England,
This was in
Canada,
2014.
14. He just then became Prime Minister.
Yeah, I think that's the
When
time
he
just
started
became.
talking to the crowd, they didn't allow him to listen to what he was telling. They were vibrating with his name. So that was the honor they gave him, And then being selected as one of the recipients, the only woman in the country at that time, along with
Oh, wow.
Harshavardhan, who was then the
Some
the ENT,
minister.
ENT
Correct,
surgeon.
ENT.
He's present minister also.
Correct, correct.
He was also an awardee of the same
Okay.
situation by the Prime Minister. He and then one Dr. Parikh, a cardiologist from Ahmedabad, and another gentleman named Ramkrishna from Warangal. I was the only woman in the country. Along with these three people, I got the award for contribution of what I did to health education and medical education, having served in the major capacities of being these institutions. So that's where it took me, and recognitions came from. Then he has just been the Prime Minister. You know his stature today.
Correct.
True.
The whole world worships
Very
him.
true.
Well
Absolutely.
learned.
I feel
Well
very
learned.
proud and happy. And
Absolutely.
you won't believe when I went on the stage, I said he was so amazingly with so much of good presentation as a politician. See, very rarely you get to see them one to one so
Very
close.
true.
Then I told him, I'm a great fan of yours, sir. He said, Madam, I need your blessings to run this country, he told me. He's standing there when he's giving the award, he told me that. So I again was amazed with the way he put it across, so humble and straight, telling what was needed for to serve the country.
Very
That
true.
was the nature he had in 2014. Then he had won the elections. I had the honor of
Nice.
getting him at that stage itself.
Nice.
Madam, next, you got the Distinguished Alumni Award of BMC RI in the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. I think you must be the number one alumni, madam, from what I can see, from what,
No, it is
from literally from
True.
first year MBBS. Oh, I don't think anybody else has done this from first MBBS student who's gone all the way to become,
True.
not just holding the office, but what you have done for the institute.
because it's
And
your
it's
alma mater.
Yes, it's
Correct.
just, I mean,
You have to
alma
do
mater for
justice
us.
to your mother.
Yeah,
Because she's
you
made
have-
you into what you have become
Correct.
today.
Really,
You don't
and
return to her, then there's
True.
no
I agree.
contribution of your life to her
I
at all.
Very
agree. So,
So that was one thing again given by then chairman, ISRO director Kiran Kumar. He was the helm of affairs when I was given the award, and only 5 people are recognized for this award from all over the world.
Oh.
Only that's a selected process. Only 5 awards. So it's about the 2 people from outside India and 3 people within India. So with the other 2 who came in, who were also big stalwarts in their own fields in America and America only. I think both of them for America because they also did a lot of services in their country, a neonatologist. And I remember the other man was an oncologist. And we 3 people who were contributors for the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. We also had done a lot for the alumni. As alumni, we did a lot to our college, so we were chosen. And it's by marks you get. You have some strategies.
Okay. Scoring is
Yeah,
there.
scoring is there. Only when you fulfill that will you get that
Okay.
award. It's not just like that they give you.
Correct.
Whatever may be the position you occupy.
Amazing. And then the third big award I think I want to mention is the Mahila Vaidya Ratna Award, which you were given on International Women's Day in 2019, again from your alma mater.
Alma mater.
So yeah, I think
the
I
health,
think the biggest pride is when your alma mater.
Yeah,
True.
I don't think
Very
you will
true.
be equated to any other award.
I agree.
It's not
Correct.
equivalent to any other award.
Absolutely, because when you come in, you don't come in like that, and when you say that these are the people recognized.
When your own institution
Yes,
recognizes
yes,
you, it's
yes.
your home which recognizes you.
Absolutely.
It's the biggest value which you get
Correct.
in life.
Very true.
Anybody else giving, of course, it's got to stand.
I
But the
agree.
highest feel
Very
you get
true.
when you're
I agree
with the
with you.
alma mater.
And then she was awarded the Dazzling Daughters Awards for the contribution achievements in the field of medical education by the
Public relations.
Public Relations Council of India. For in the memory of late Kalpana Chawla. Oh,
Yeah.
I want
we
to
didn't
say a
know
small
this.
thing about
Please,
this.
please, of course
See,
you
what
can say.
happened was it was again a selection process. Top 10 women, professional women in the field, in any field you excelled. So with me was B. Sarojit Devi, the actress.
Oh, okay.
And Jija Hari Singh was the IPS
Correct,
officer.
correct.
They were great stalwarts. And then myself from medicine, she was chosen for the respective fields, engineer, the media. So 10 top women were chosen, And only one man was the panelist who was supposed to be talking to the women because women achievers were given by women only.
Okay.
So all of us were honored with whatever value with our biodata and and it was done in Nanajyoti Auditorium in Central College. Auditorium of 850 is the capacity with everybody being there, all fields. So ultimately, what happened? I happened to be the seventh. I'm not talking great about myself, but I want to say this to you all because seventh, I was the seventh in the panel, and they went on asking. The man was the main man. The MC was a woman. The whole function was by women only because it was about the top 10 professional women.
Correct, correct.
So they fit into the function, and the MC was also there. And then they came around asking each one. One was the vice chancellor of some university, and like that, Then everybody said, "How did you excel in a man's world?" Was the question asked. that is why you got this award, no?
Correct.
Because you're a women achiever in a man's world. Practically ruled a man's world in whatever
True.
field you were excelling.
We have to accept reality.
Yeah, you have to do. And everybody was giving their own versions. I did this, and this man did this to me. I toppled that, and all. Then ultimately, it came to me. Then it so happened that was the first function my husband attended. Can you imagine? He never used to like all this because he was thinking, after all I know here, what is that I have to go and sit there and all.
Correct.
Even in BMC, he has not hardly come to any function. And everybody used to question me. I used to feel it would have been nice if he's there.
Yeah.
If he knows what I am, why should he come and hear praises about me in an open place like that? So I left him to do what he wanted. And it so happened he was sitting across. Not because of him I spoke. Then I took up the question, saying that my episodes at BMC, how, because only when men accept you as a leader, can you lead.
Correct.
You don't have the cooperation of men, you can't lead.
Very
You
true.
will not be a successful woman. So I said, in my life I started, I said the first man in my life who made me, no woman can prosper and come up if the men are not there in her life.
Correct.
The first man whom I should respect and honor is my father, who made me a doctor.
Correct.
But for
Correct.
his struggle, I would not have been a
Very
doctor.
true.
Then I said, the next person in my life is my husband, the better half, who allowed me to go ahead with my professional
Correct.
life. And the third person is my son. He's a man again. So if he didn't cooperate with me from the time he was born, if he went on giving me, I would have become a homemaker or looked after only him.
Correct.
But all these three men have made a big influence in my life, and they are the root cause of what I've achieved today. All that laurels, the CV went on reading. So I said, all that laurels which you people are reading is because of the men in my life. No woman is complete without a man.
Correct.
We may say so many things, but I feel man plays a major role to support. If he is not
Absolutely.
going to support, a woman cannot achieve. A man can go ahead without the support of a woman
Correct.
because he's got his own way of climbing up. So, but here it's the reverse, because the woman is the one who needs the support of people around. Then I said, all the men in my life, in my Bangalore Medical College, in my professional life, what all I did, small achievements I did, I said, if they had not accepted me as a leader and not supported me at that time, I could not have made so many achievements to do, where I brought BMC to the second position.
Correct.
The being in the top 5 during my regime, if they had not done so much, development would not have taken place in BMC. If the heads of departments who were all men who supported me and accepted me as the leader, they gave me the award of this award which I'm holding today, and all the laurels they gave me go to the men in my life. I won't accept it as an award to me as a woman. Everybody gave me a big applause from the entire crowd because they're full of men also. The MC also said, "Madam, the best talk I heard. You're true, absolutely, you're talking extempore. What is this?" I said, "It's a real action of what my life has
True.
taught me. It's not built up story.
Very
You
true.
tell me whose life is going to be complete or incomplete without a man. So let's give the credit to the men who are sitting across, including my husband there. So he also gets sick of. I had to tell, no, it was very
Correct.
irritated because men get unrecognized. No, anything you do, the honor comes to the woman, you may clap there. But somebody has to openly tell, no. So it was a great day in the Central College for me that day. I cannot forget that day.
What did he say after you went home?
Yeah, what? Silence
Yeah,
is the biggest value of my heart. He won't throw compliments
He's
like
a very
that.
quiet guy.
Yeah,
He doesn't talk much.
And he thinks if he's kept quiet, it's acceptable, it's the compliment.
Correct.
Even for cooking. If he doesn't make any comments and eats, that's a good cooking.
Maunam sammati
Yeah, man,
lakshanam.
so I accepted him like that. For 40 years, I lived with him.
Amazing.
So I'm just telling you, I've been, as you put a word, you talked about, no, you have to be a professional, you have to be a homemaker also.
True.
Because you cannot fail in the duty of being a family woman. Because unless your family is secure and looked after well, you cannot achieve anything in a professional
Correct.
life.
Very true.
Because you can't be guilty for what you're doing, not giving time. But I have not failed in my duties. I've done equal care, as you mentioned, a good wife and a good mother. Because I never compromised on the value of what a woman should do in her life. And till the end, though I don't have my husband living with me to tell you, I looked after him to the last moment of his life, gave him the full value of what
I
he had to
remember
do.
that. I remember
True.
that.
Last,
We have spoken
Very
lots at
true.
that time.
that's what I'm telling you. Those things make you get a fulfilling life. I do
Very
miss him.
true.
But I don't feel guilty that I didn't do my duty as a professional woman. I did give him all the time possible. I never compromised on anything. But I'm very happy and satisfied that I've done justice on both my sides, the professional front as well as on the family front.
I want you to share to our global audience what your husband said in the last days of his life. He was suffering from Parkinson's, you
Yeah,
said,
Parkinson's.
when he was in the East
Yes.
Point Medical
Yeah,
College.
he came to
He
the
had a
institution where I was working, and then because he wouldn't understand why I was going to, as the wording puts, this is the real touch.
Correct.
See, I really feel this was the
Correct.
right care I gave,
Absolutely.
because I was heading a 1,000-bedded hospital from past 7 years. I used to go in the beginning once a week, and after that he fell ill. I couldn't leave him alone and go. So I told him, I'll take care of you in the hospital because I'll also be there. My doctors will take care of you. So you'll have the full value of full treatment. And I can also be satisfied that the right treatment is going at the right time. And this is exactly what I can tell you. Profession gave the personal touch I had because of having the control of entire hospital under me, caring and looking after the doctors as well as the patients, monitoring them, whether they're getting the best of care. In my own capacity, on seeing them from a side, they never knew I was monitoring them. But I will get the information, and I used to handle people the next day if at all things went wrong. But most of the time they were duty conscious than they used to do. The last 3 months, my husband was given the VVIP treatment, the best of care. It was monitored by nearly 20 doctors round the clock. Nobody would have got that kind of treatment. But because of his condition deteriorating, because he had to go from the failure of deglutition getting onto the peg, and then he used to have aspiration pneumonia, and it was Klebsiella. He turned resistant to all the antibiotics. So I succumbed because there was no antibiotic left to treat him in the end. But anyway, he was very thankful to me for having served that college, and he really blessed me, saying that the best of care that I am very blessed to have you had as a wife. In spite of all your duties, what you've done and achieved, you're taking care of me to the last minute. So those eyes spoke to me when he was almost on deathbed. So I can't forget that scene, but I feel happy that in one way peace prevailed in me, because I have done justice to him also in the right place, in the right organization which I serve in today.
Correct.
I feel very indebted and thankful to my management to have taken care of him the last 9 months of his life, and made me also not feel guilty because I was his bedside right through the thing with the best of medical care. So I'm just telling. So I, with that gratitude, I still serve this organization and still serve the rural poor who come, especially monitoring the emergency, which comes especially between 4 p.m. and 9 a.m. is my monitoring time. I try to find out because most of the road traffic accidents come here because
Correct.
government of Karnataka identified my center for emergency and trauma care. They have identified and given me an order. So I look after the patients who come at that part. That is the only one because it's highway. So maximum cases come, and I have the surgeons around the clock. I have the plastic surgeons, I have the neurosurgeons, everybody doing their work, including cardiology. So many cases are saved in the nights. Patients are sent back alive, whom I don't know, but still I know my care is going there. So this is exactly the wordings I would like to put. That is the personal touch I gave to my profession. Even today I do that. As long as I go through, I
Very
want that
true.
to happen and
I
remain
agree.
with that memory only.
Thank you.
Right.
I think you are actually motivating people like us and our
Absolutely.
audience to understand that the key is the care that you give with the personal touch. It's not about the money. Money is just a byproduct of what you do, but that no money can buy. That's a very important thing. Now, Dr. Pratibha, I want to know how you balance this whole thing. Madam has 48 hours in a day. I don't know how many hours in a day does you have.
You have
I-
to club 2 days into one day.
But I mean, if I look at this, I'm figuring out what's going on here. So I'm not taking a risk at all. I'll say, let me find out, let them only say what's going on.
This is a common question I've been facing for quite some time now. So, how are you balancing between the professional life and your personal life? Because I've not had shortage of time to spend with the family or with the profession. So, all I say to people is, if you're happy doing what you're doing, you will find time. You will just find how. I also don't know. Actually, I don't know. But then it is not difficult to find time. Yeah, there is a little bit of a pull and a push, yes. But then I think it is absolutely possible if you love what you're doing. So I think the passion is what drives successful people, whether it is a male or a female, it doesn't matter. I think as long as the passion is driving, people will make time for everything. Family and profession, career, everything can be balanced. I think that is my experience, and this is what I've been telling a lot of people who ask me this question.
Tell madam, we live a joint family. In fact, till very recently, we were 4 generations living at home, including my grandmother. She died in 2017. She was 93. So we are 4 generations, 7 people. 7 people, same genes, 7 big egos. Each person has 10 points of view.
Yes.
You know,
They
sometimes
won't agree with certain things.
umpiring work has to be done. You can't argue. It's fantastic. And in that madhouse, for her to be able to do what she's done, I agree all
She's
the time.
made everybody happy the way
Yes,
she lived
and
with them.
yes, that's
the
the
praises
key.
that your mother has given her.
That is the no
I've
question
been a
about.
witness to that.
Yes, no question
Right.
about that fact. And personally, I tell her about her cooking. She's such a great cook. I would always tell her, if her career doesn't click as a doctor, we can start a hotel.
I had an alternate
The
career.
only problem was we may not make money because we may eat all the food because it is so tasty. And it will
No, but I can cook healthy also, so
is
it
so
won't
funny
be a
anyway.
problem.
Exactly,
So-
exactly. This afternoon I was telling her, I'm just not having lunch. I'm eating healthy food. Is
True.
what I was telling her.
True.
Till recently, when we used to have an organization of 30, 40 people, if you have an early morning program and all that, she would get up at 5 o'clock and she has big, big vessels. She'll cook for 40 people because most of the
really
staff are living in PGs.
Yes.
So she says there's no point catering from the hotel. So I'll give them homemade food. So 4:30 in the morning, she's getting up and cooking, by
Yeah, she
herself.
said the word passion.
Yeah.
She loves
Again,
people. You do it
same
with your
thing.
passion. You
Absolutely.
like doing it.
So that
Anything, right from cooking to your profession.
absolutely.
True.
So I think that's the key
Yeah.
message that you're giving people and enjoy what you do.
Because when you don't enjoy what you do, you'll actually find it difficult. And you'll find reasons why you don't like what you're doing. So, simplest way to do is love what you're doing. That's all it
And
is.
really, you have a planned life. You're very disciplined. Everything grows into it to make your life
Correct.
passionate. And you, as you said, you don't have to make time. Time will be adjusted to you the way you
Correct.
plan up your life. You can't say you don't have time.
Now, mental health is such a big issue among everybody, especially depression and it challenges, things like that. And I think it's very acute, especially when children come into medical school. And, it's a culture shock from them, from a PUC, which is, rotate from, rapper to rapper, to a medical school, which is really, challenging and intimidating. And we had a story, which I wanted to share. I start with Dr. Pratibha. Pratibha, you had a challenge when you got into, hostel of the prestigious institution you were studying.
Yeah.
And your roommate, decided to undergo, intentional self-harm and kill herself. What went wrong then? What was really happened to you, and what was going on?
Honestly, I have no idea what went wrong there, but I know what went wrong with me. And I only came to know today in the conversation that ma'am was there as an assistant warden in the hostel. I was not even aware of that. But yes, like you said, mental health is a very important thing for people who have come from, we just finished our PU. And for me, the important thing was I moved out of home and I was put in the hostel, which I was not used to at all. It was a new experience for me. So obviously now, one, it's a new setup. Second, I was not a very friendly person, not somebody who's an extrovert who would make friends and who would, live life like that. So it was a challenge for me to make friends and be with people. In such a situation, when this roommate of mine did what she did, I was asked to leave the hostel, and I was not even provided with a room where I could shift. I had my exams coming in. I had that stress along with that distress. I actually didn't know what happened to that lady, but then I was made the scapegoat in this whole process for no fault of mine. And I think that took a beating. That really took a beating for me. And the stress, the untimely, unexpected thing made me go into a situation where, why me? I mean, what have I done wrong? Why me? I went into that mode. Anyway, by the end of the day, it so happened the so called hostel warden, she knows about it. And she was my professor in a subject. And then, because my dad had to ask her to keep me in the hostel and not move me out anywhere, she did not probably like it. And whatever the ego or whatever that is, she probably took it on me.
So what
And
happened?
I finished my theory. I had to face my viva, and in the viva, she gave me 0. So, for I mean, she did not even ask me question, but I was given zero. And this happened once. It actually, um, I didn't know how to handle that because I was not asked a question. I was not evaluated. Without evaluating, you put me off. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to quit. And then,
How many times did this happen?
oh, it happened 3 times. Every time I went, I was not asked anything. I was given a zero. I could see her writing zero, and I was asked to go out. And eventually, I believe that God is there, and God sent somebody. And
We'll go down that path.
yeah, and I came across these people who came like angels who got me out of that trouble, right? But the point is, mentally, I was a wreck. I was a wreck at that time. So that's my experience. I think you should ask ma'am. She has gone through whatever she's gone through.
What I realized today in this conversation between both of you is that you were the assistant warden, she was the student, and somehow the institution did not have a system to put both of you in front of each other. It took you 38 years to really
To
realize that
realize.
you should have sat together. So, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not criticizing you people. All I'm saying is, the system is so not designed to support people with mental health issues. And you could have helped her. We know how you are. But somehow, you were in such a situation. So, I want you to tell our viewers what was your side of what was going on to you, because I know for you also it was like a culture shock. You were so young, you were assistant warden is another responsibility they're given to you. You never, I think, expected in your world that something like this was going to happen and you will get into a trap. So why don't you tell our viewers what it is all about, man?
First of all, I feel very sorry for the incidents which Dr. Pratibha went through. And actually, today, I was totally unaware, as you said, from 38 years, that she was a victim of the circumstances of the decision made by the warden. Because the warden is the head of her department. And it was quite a junior, was put into her committee. And that particular day, I still remember, we had gone for the Ganesha festival celebrations. And her roommate, unfortunately, was seen by the warden carrying the food from the dining hall into the room. So she watched that, and I was unaware because I was right behind her, but I did not see the lady cross. Soon after the puja, she took me there into the room, and unfortunately, she saw another relative of hers sharing that food. So she got very agitated. She said, "First of all, you should not have done this. It's a violation of the rules of the hostel, and you're feeding somebody also with the same thing." Then what happened? That's all she said. And it was an innocent way of putting across the rules and regulations of a disciplined warden. She
Yes.
did nothing wrong
Yeah.
because I was a witness to her statement. And then I never knew that this would take off in a different direction, and your wife would have been the victim of circumstances. I don't know how she unfortunately fell into that situation which brought her with all this pain which she's expressing in front of me and you today, the way this episode occurred. Because I was unaware of this because it was just a simple start. And after that, I went away. And then after that, we came to know that this lady it came in the papers. I think a day
Came into
after.
newspapers.
Yeah,
I
it
was
became in
also not
newspapers
sure
saying
about
then
that. She told me.
quoting Bangalore Medical College warden, ladies hostel warden, that she scolded the inmate of that hostel and she committed suicide. An inquiry started. And then, that was the way in which went on. So immediately the warden took precautions for herself. So she called me the next day with all the inmates, the secretary and all. There are some floor secretaries and all that. She said, I have to seal this room because if I don't get any proof there, because I'm not the root cause, nobody will come and commit suicide for one small scolding. And and she was almost 36 years old. If I tell you, she was a postgraduate in some department, which I don't remember. And then they went and sealed it and kept it in a confidential way because the warden is not the supremo. The president, the principal gets the final call. So he had told her to get it sealed and hand over whatever situations were there. Then after some time, it became a big police case.
Obviously.
According to the statement done.
Statement.
It came as a big episode in the paper. And then everybody related this to that. I don't know why that got linked at all. There was no relationship whatsoever, but it was in the process. So everybody was very scared of the police involvement and they were wondering what is going to happen to the lady, she having committed suicide. Then what happened? I was the last person to be questioned as the final witness. So the inquiry went on, and one fine day the inspector turned up to me and asked me that I would like to question you about that episode, because this is the outcome of that lady. And then the then principal, I have to take the principal's permission to present myself in front of the inspector. So I went to the principal's chamber. She was also seated there as the warden, and the questions were asked: how the episode happened, what I witnessed, and unfortunately, what had happened in between, without the permission of the principal, the warden, and without telling me as assistant warden, she did things on her own. Actually, she had the seal cannot be broken without the consent of the principal. So
Of the
this
crime scene.
gentleman went, the then inspector went to her house and got the keys and made her come all the way. She came and opened up the room, and her belongings were lifted out of the room without.
That is not right.
Yeah, they did that because then she told me only the next day. Then I told, though she was a senior, I was quite a junior at the time. I told her, Madam, you should have taken the consent of the principal.
Correct.
He should be kept aware first without his permission. That too on a Sunday. You cannot go and open up your own department and enter the college. And you should have informed me also, because I was a part of the whole episode of what happened in that place, because it's a big allegation against you. So I think you got to view this outcome very seriously. Then it so happened, and the inspector, when he called me, he told me, just tell me now from what you hear from the episode, I want a final word. Was it, what was it? It was a suicide, is it not? He asked me. I said, I don't know for what reason. I wouldn't say, because the death occurred of this individual outside the hostel in her hometown. So when that is
Oh,
happened,
it was not in the.
no, it was in
No, it was
Ramnagaram.
not.
It was
It was in her
Ramnagaram was a
hometown.
native place,
Okay.
and it is there where she went and.
But she blamed the warden. For
Yeah, it came in the
the
paper
suicide, huh?
because of that. She scolded me in front of everybody, humiliating me. So I left the hospital with humiliation. I went back, and I cannot survive like that. So that was the paper news that came in. So everybody was shaken up by that episode. Ultimately, I told the inspector, see, this is for you to find out whether it's a suicide or a homicide. So I can't give you the answer to and watch on
Exactly.
that, and I'm not the right person to say so. So ultimately, the story turned to be a different episode. The reason for her death was something else.
Oh,
Which, yeah, the forensic head of department was my teacher.
of,
So
the
of Bangalore
college.
Medical College, that man, I can mention his name. Dr. Chandragowda was the very staunch, very strong forensic
Yeah,
medicine
he was a
professor.
great
He was a
professor.
terror actually for
I
us,
agree.
as well as for the
I
police.
agree. I
And
agree.
and I was, when I went and requested him, he stood up. He said, I'll investigate into this case since he left it
And
to
he's
me.
the right guy, madam. He's
Yeah,
the
it was
right
right.
person.
No, he's
True.
our man, and he has
Correct.
to find out the truth. And then he went about the episode and dealt it with the police, which we could not have given a solution. And the cause of suicide or homicide, which I cannot even today spell out as to why and how she died, because it was a different sort of a story behind her personal life. It's a personal life which indicted her to go in to commit. It just coincided with this incidents. So they just blamed, the blame frame came up, and
Very
we
sad.
were cleared up the issue.
Inquiry.
Yeah, inquiry, and everybody got cleared. The warden got cleared, and the principal was also at peace, because otherwise he also would have to face.
So I think, madam.
So I feel it was very unfortunate. This episode tracked down with her behavior of that episode. That was the time this happened. And how she carried that episode onto her life, which is she was an innocent person,
Correct.
and she's a student. And we know at the entry point, since I'm an anatomist, I know with what problems children enter the first MBBS course is much more when you become a pharmacology student. By that time, you finish 1.5 years. And then you have to learn something new altogether. Medicine is unrelated to what you do at PUC.
Correct.
Especially learning anatomy is the anatomical language, which you require 6 months to understand the language. You cannot speak and talk anatomy without knowing the wordings and the phrases of what the anatomical language teaches you. That itself, and being from, as you said, the different backgrounds that they come from, they from the vernacular languages, they are from a
Correct.
village background, and every child has got his own way of adapting to the new situation. And we used to keep them in place, and I at least, would call for names, and the children who were always trying to avoid me, because the convent bred boys and girls would always steal the show, and they would not, and these boys would go and hide behind, and invariably I used to pull back. I knew who needed my help. So I'd call up by name. I used to know them by name, because my attendance, I used to take the 150 students by name I never used numbers because I wanted to know them personally. So they were very well aware. I was aware of the name. Even initials I knew. That was my way of connecting myself to the students. That's why I remember everybody, So they used to be worried, even thinking she knows my initials as well. It's not the name. So then I used to pull them up and then I used to tell them. I used to ask only questions from them. From next day, they started building that courage, the stamina to react. And that's how my career started as a young teacher when I became in BMC, because I knew the pitfalls of my own career when I was an undergraduate and postgraduate of Bangalore Medical College, how we were so timid and trying to avoid. Sometimes your nature changes with the
Correct.
situations which
Very
you
true.
occupy.
Which is very important.
Yeah,
Madam.
very
You have to adapt.
nobody will believe to what I grew and how I became so strong because
Madam,
I was so timid when I was an undergraduate
none
student.
of us will believe you, madam, if you actually say that thing.
Really,
But
it's a big transformation
I
of my
can,
life.
I
I can't imagine what I was in first MB when I joined the college and what I came out as the first dean director, because you have to take decisions and you have to make decisions for others as well. So naturally, you have to remain very strong and very affirmative to do what you want in life and prove yourself, especially being a medical professional.
Correct.
I think it demands a lot of
I
courage.
agree.
Absolutely.
Madam, being the first dean cum director of the transformed Bangalore Medical College, which went on to become the Bangalore Medical College and Research Institute of BMCRI, an autonomous institute, I think it was but befitting that you were the first dean cum director. But like everybody sees only the tip of the iceberg and the crown that you wear, but they don't see the thorns underneath and what you went through to earn that post and give. See, madam, it's not. I don't think for you at any point it was you about you. You were just a vehicle to make the institute to where it is. We know that you took the institute to number 2 in the rankings, all India rankings, below, just next to
Yeah,
AIMS, which
2004.
2004, which is extraordinary. That's before
Yes.
BMC morphed or transformed into
Correct.
BMCRI. But I want you to tell the story. But how for you it was a challenge to take this, because to get that 100 crores, this one from the government, what was going on? Can you give our audience what is going on, what went on in that whole episode? What was
Whatever
the
you
challenge?
narrated just now is absolutely true, Sharan. It was a big challenge for me. I should say I took it as a challenge because it was my alma mater. I was born in 1967 as an undergraduate and came out as the first dean director in 2007. You can imagine the long tenure of attachment to my own institution.
True.
I was deep rooted. It looked like I was deep rooted there.
Just
And
to add, madam, here is a lady who started as undergraduate in Bangalore Medical College, did a post graduation there, got into the faculty there, went on to become the dean and director. I think there are very few institutions, very
Yes.
few people who have really done this. You can imagine her, her commitment and her passion to the institute. Sorry, madam,
I
I had
should
to say that.
I was really fortunate. See, you will never know where you will be posted among the four
Correct.
government colleges.
That's true.
Correct.
Because
That's
Mysore
true.
Medical College is also one.
True.
The other is KIMS, it was known as KMC, Karnataka Medical College,
Correct.
and Ballari,
Bellary.
Government Medical
Correct.
College,
We there
Ballari.
were four
So
of
there were
them.
only 4 colleges
Correct.
at that particular time,
Correct.
40 years old.
Hmm.
And there was no government medical college started after 40 years. So that was a big eye-opener period, I should say, because when Bangalore Medical College stood second to AIMS New Delhi, and 2005 I happened to be the chairperson of the Golden Jubilee celebrations. So it became an automatic process because the dean becomes the chairperson of the celebrations. So I had to give my memorandum to then government, which was headed by the Congress I. That was Dharam Singh and his party were the government on place. And I went about telling my CM that with only your funds, the state funds, Bangalore Medical College has stood second to AIMS New Delhi. If only the government could work to get me. That time, Government of India was looking for one college in each district to make it on par with AIMS New Delhi, because AIMS New Delhi is considered as the final
Yeah,
word
the
in the country.
highest.
Gold standard.
Yeah, it was a gold standard, and nobody has ever bet AIMS till today.
Oh.
No college has bet, even till today, it stands number one.
Mm.
So that is the stature of that college, and it's a prestige issue that people kept that institution because it's still growing. And then it so happened that when it was a big honor for me during my regime, being a student of Bangalore Medical College, to see my alma mater stand as a pride second position to AIMS New Delhi. That was the biggest dream that ever think could have ever happened in my life. It gave an eye opener to the government. It gave an eye opener to the alumni who are all. We always keep talking about the college, but when it ranked that way, it was a great pride for everybody in the world. So we celebrated that episode in 2004. So 2005 happened to be the Golden Jubilee. So I submitted a memorandum and requested the CM at that time, saying that, sir, if you only the government had to work at the state government had to work at the central government to get me the 100 crores. So for that I have to put a
100
projection.
crores.
100 crores.
Oh,
So
that's a
you
lot of
have
money,
to,
madam.
yeah, 100 crores was the
And those
amount.
days.
Those days, 100 crores was a big amount. And then at the present at Delhi, to get this 100 crores to develop BMC on par with AIIMS New Delhi. Already I was in the second position. Getting the 100 crores was a big task. That,
Correct.
and I had the audacity to say, when I gave him the, the request, I said, sir, with only your friends, I brought you to the second position. If you can get me the 100 crores, I'll make it on par with AIIMS New Delhi.
Not surprising at all, madam,
No,
not
I was
surprising.
telling you, that was the
But,
level of commitment and
but hearing a
happiness
woman
and
saying that, they
challenging
must
that,
have
you
been
know.
quite
Then
challenging,
I
madam.
thought the CM may or may not act. With that doubt, I put my forth, and you won't believe he acted immediately. He asked me to get ready with the presentation at Delhi, and it was against time actually, because the time was building up, and he asked me to get ready and do the presentation. So I had to go about with 32 departments, which were super specialties inclusive, but super specialties had not started at Bangalore Medical College because they were only service departments. Service departments means they only render service to the public in the various specialties, super specialties, but they did not have MCH and DM courses to produce future, future super
Correct.
specialists in the country. And Bangalore Medical College is rich with clinical material with 3,000 beds. At that particular time when I presented, the AIIMS was having 2,000 beds and I was having 3,000
Oh.
beds. That became an eye-opener for me also when I did the presentation. And then it so happened that I was feeling very bad. The intellectuals of the country were not getting postgraduate seats, super specialty seats in Bangalore Medical College, which could have built up a big number of people rendering service to the needy people, So that is a minus point of we not looking at that angle, because we didn't have, because ours was a heritage building. So we have the Victor Hospital, we have the Minto Hospital, we have the Vanivilas Hospital. Everything's under the heritage group. Archaeological Survey of India won't allow you to touch a single brick.
Correct.
And then the
Oh,
fort,
that's what is heritage.
yeah, Tipu Sultan's fort was also in the premises.
I didn't know that,
Yeah,
madam. Till
yeah.
today, I thought it
Yes.
was just
See,
part
if
of
Yeah,
you,
I thought it
you
was
have to
outside.
demolish something, you'll have to blast.
Huh.
So that blast may give a
Shaking vibration.
yeah, and it can even spoil the fort.
Correct,
So you
correct.
can't touch, and the Archaeological Survey of India is very strong. They want to maintain the heritage buildings as heritage building. And I think there's a meaning and value to maintain
Correct,
these
correct.
things, because they have their own value in every country. So it so happened there was one particular area where it was it was the nurses' hostel, which is in very, very bad shape. So that was the only area that we could think of demolishing and constructing with the consent of the government. So it was about 5,000 square feet. That area, if they demolished, so it was beyond repair. And then they were trying to locate. I gave them another hostel construction when I constructed the PMSSY, the Pradhan Mantri Swasthya
Yeah.
Suraksha Yojana hospital, called the Super Special Hospital. So I gave them a nursing hostel. I gave them nursing college also, because I didn't want them to go taking away their area.
Correct.
That the replacement is also required. In the plan they came up. So it so happened then when I told the CM, he said, you plan up. Then I had to build the informations required of the entire 32 departments and send it to the health secretary, who's on Nirman Bhavan. So he's the man who's the key figure for giving me this project. So there were 3 medical teams, which was AIIMS New Delhi, 3 people from AIIMS New Delhi, 3 people were chosen from PJ Chandigarh, and the JIPMER. JIPMER was the team which was nearest to Bangalore. So they were sent to inspect my institution. They went through a thorough inspection of 3 days. And by the time and Delhi was asking me, they sent a format which I have to send every day, reporting to them. They would say within 48 hours you should come. Those days only fax was available. So you won't
Correct.
believe, I shouldn't say things about myself, but because I wanted that 100 crores very badly, when I did promise the CM, I used to work till 2 a.m. in the morning. And I used to go home for that particular 10 days, because I had to fill so much of data and collect it from all the departments and send it forward. So ultimately, when they amalgamated the book, it turned out to be the best book in India.
Oh, that's the
Oh.
book. we
Yeah,
have
that's
on
the book.
have it
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
okay. Lot of volume of work of all my, I should say the whole team. I was a team leader, and my entire team of heads of departments of 32 departments worked with me day and night to give me the outcome and put up the best of form of their own things, because I have to prove it right to present in Delhi. Getting government money, you have to put up justice to that. So it so happened that ultimately, when everything was done and the JIPMER team visited, they wanted to confirm on what I sent, because they have to counter check. So they came with the full data, and then they went about verifying everything, and they said they gave me permission that I have to present at Delhi. So in the presence of the then medical education secretary was Mr. Vidya Shankar. He was the key role player in
From
medical
Karnataka.
education, Karnataka. He was the highest cadre, and he was the man who was my secretary at that
He's a
particular
great guy,
time.
madam.
Yeah, he's one of the top 25 icons of India.
Oh,
His
I
name
know
is Lon.
that.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
one of the top 25 icons of India. His name is clubbed with our president, sir, that is Abdul Kalam,
Oh.
Narayan Murthy. His name also surfaces in that top 25, and he's carved a niche in every department he's worked. So many people discouraged me in the beginning when he moved into my department. Since he was a senior cadre man, he will not take up a small portion of health and family welfare. Is the major department. Principal secretary health and family is a bigger thing, and medical education is a small major part. It's a very
Correct.
strong part of health and family welfare. If you take the whole thing, this is plays a major role. So they said probably he will not come because he's held key positions. So and I was only hoping, because I knew him as a man of integrity and performance. Then
Correct.
I thought
This is
getting
what we
somebody
want.
of that cadre for my type of work, I may get a lift. I hoped and prayed, and really he arrived on the scene. And that day started with me, because I also wanted to prove myself that I was nonetheless for what I have to do, because I'm the professional who has to work for him, and I have to raise the department which he's heading. So I can't go about compromising anything, and I worked very hard. And he was a computer savvy man, IT professional. See, and for me, it was just a beginning, because we are altogether a teacher. We don't get exposed to this
Correct.
administrative jobs. We hardly learned. That time, computers were not available in Bangalore Medical College, government sector, and only laptops. And that was something which you have to borrow privately to learn. I learned it on the laptop, did the presentation in Delhi. Among the 13 medical colleges were presenting at that time. I still remember the red letter day. I can't forget that day in my life. And it was the 31st of July and 1st of August 2006. And at that time, you had to go to Delhi to present in front of the entire Nirman Bhavan, which comprises of all the officials, the health officials of the union area, along with the experts who came from these three places. And I think there were about 200 to 250 people. And
Oh.
you had to do the presentation, and it was three representatives in each state for the 13 medical colleges, in addition to the usual people. And then I remember the first day was 7 colleges. And those colleges were presenting for the second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time.
Oh.
And when they did the presentation, the health secretary was not happy with the presentation. He said, "You can come next time."
Oh.
Then I was presenting, I was the second college the second day. So now I got very discouraged that day, thinking these people have come so many times. By the time I really come back next time, I would be retired. Because 2007
You'll be an old
March.
lady.
Correct.
Yeah, 58 years. The retirement age is 58. So I was 58 in 2007. And this is 6. Then I thought, if I lose I don't board the bus, I never get into it. So I was very tensed up that previous night. I still remember I didn't sleep at all. I'm wondering what I'm going to do the next day when those colleges have failed with so many attempts. I'm presenting for the first time. How will I fare? So the first college was from Jharkhand. And he didn't do his job properly. Then they told him not to present.
Oh,
And then they said I had to present at 10:45. They said, "You come." They told, the secretary called me. Suddenly I had to jump out of my chair. Then I had to sit between my DME and my medical education secretary, Mr. Vidya Shankar, and all. And then I had to do the presentation, which is for half an hour. You can imagine a 3,000 bedded hospital with super specialties, with specialities, condensing the whole thing to half an hour. See, it was a big challenge to condense the whole thing. How I'm going to utilize the 100 crores was the question. How I'm going to give the money, how I'm going to distribute the money, how am I going to utilize that? So everything should be justifiable.
correct.
So because I was born in the institution, I knew the minus and plus of my institution.
Correct.
Which departments needed more money, which departments were self-sufficient. Some people had aid, some had support. Very powerful heads of departments. They got the department sort of the big cadre, the big higher one. And then it so happened that when I did the presentation that particular day, I did the presentation for half an hour, and 15 minutes was a discussion. The major portion of the money which I felt at that time was radiology. It had not got a multi-slice CT. We didn't have an MRI. And it was a very painful situation that I couldn't do super specialties, because that was a must. Even for specialties were needed. But there was a little delay in establishing this area, because that also grew again. Then I gave the maximum concentration of money. Radiology is a common department to all departments. The next department was anesthesia. I had a acute shortage of certain things, which of course government of Karnataka gave me, but I had to add up to the 5 hospitals. So I gave that. And third was a blood bank, because blood bank is again a big department catering to the entire sector of 3,000 beds.
So you did the presentation.
I did the presentation. And then what happened? I was questioned for 15 minutes as to why you need this number. What is this? Then I gave a befitting reply, and 100 crores was cleared on the spot among
the
the 13
spot.
colleges. I was cleared for 100 crores
Unbelievable.
on the spot. Can you imagine? That is the one. And the Nirman Bhavan moved to Bangalore Medical College. The Union Secretary came down to Bangalore Medical College. He made me the coordinator for the South Indian states as the chairperson coordinator for the PMSS5 project. And you won't believe, when I left with so much of luggage, I had to carry every book. That time the hard copy was important. The same
Correct,
book which I
correct.
given you all, and then the CD and pen drive. Everybody asked for a copy because mine was an ideal presentation. I just donated everything, came empty-handed back to Bangalore. And then it was a great celebration. And when I came down on my computer, in principle, 100 crores cleared for the PMSS project was the word.
Fantastic.
Then the then government got very proud of me. By the time Kumar Samy took over as the CM. So at that particular time, he realized when Bangalore Medical College could stand second to AIIMS New Delhi with the government funds, and I got 100 crores, he gave me 150 crores.
Additional.
Yeah, 250
Oh.
crores I
Yeah,
got.
I
The government
remember
of
she said
Karnataka gave me
that.
to improve my institution.
My-
So it was a great donation by the government of Karnataka. I can never forget.
Mm.
And then at the same
Madam, the
time,
right person at the head, because viewers, you need to know, Madam is the most uncorrupt,
Absolutely.
non-corruptible leader sitting there. We know her, all of us know her, and the money went to the right hands. And
Correct.
what Bangalore Medical College has happened today, we know when we were studying what has happened there. Madam, hats off to you.
thank you.
And
Yeah,
you know that we can
absolutely.
clearly see how a successful woman in a man's world, you know, that's how it is.
Definitely
I
say
mean,
I endorse that because I was a political orphan.
why you say the political orphan?
Only because I had no interest to throw around to even ask my godfather to help me somewhere. You know,
Correct,
See,
correct.
somebody has to have a godfather for some help.
Correct.
But the right people, you know, I should say my medical education secretary, I owe the full support of his because he stood by me like a rock in whatever I did. It was done at his level to the government, so I didn't have to do anything. Only thing I had to do right things at the right
think
time.
he also
Correct.
read you, madam. I think the key is if the intention is honorable and the heart is clean.
Because he was also like that.
Exactly.
So it matched
Exactly.
my my
the
nature of doing
wavelength.
work and my wavelength. And you have to also be very street smart to meet his demands because he was so good. You have to meet his demand means you have to live up to his expectation. No? If I was not that, things could not have taken shape
Correct.
because I had to, because I'm a professional, I'm supposed to lead him. See, he's in a different direction at a higher level as IS officer. But mine is a medical professional. If I don't do justice to the medical profession, what added value can I make and give him? Because he's carved a niche in every
Correct.
department. He should carve a niche in mine. He took medical education to the helm of affairs, to the height. I tell you, everything happened during his regime because he was so supportive. And you know, you need somebody like that who also pulls you up for the jobs you do, keep you on your toes,
Correct.
and make you perform. And the output also should be strong for him to climb up the ladder. He never spared me. But I did my best to see that I should also not give up my personality to develop my own institution.
Interestingly, madam, we are hoping that in one of our episodes in the future, he's going to feature on one of our episodes. So,
Oh, very nice.
yeah, so he's
Yes.
probably sitting in the same chair.
Okay, okay.
and
That's
giving
a
his-
great
yeah.
gesture.
Yes, yes.
Sharan, I think he is.
He
high
deserves
time.
it, buddy. He
Yeah,
deserves
yeah,
it
he's
because
a man
yeah,
who will add up a lot
absolutely.
of
True.
and down to
we
earth
know how
person,
much
you
he's
know.
impacted medical education, which means that so many doctors are there thanks to the way he has
Mm.
done. Genuine people who are serving the public, and that's what
I
it
can
is.
tell you this triggered a lot of changes in Bangalore Medical College when BMC ranked second to AIIMS New Delhi. So the government woke up.
Mm.
I should not say woke up, but it really appreciated
Realized-
the move.
See, sometimes
Realized.
they say, no,
They,
sir,
yeah, they realized.
Gar ka murgi dal barabar. So you don't know the value of yourself. But
True.
Yeah.
outside people see
Realized,
what is
you know,
going
and
on.
immediately that 150 crores was the biggest gift that one
Of course,
could get.
madam.
And then
We know how it was.
2004, when I ranked second to AIIMS New Delhi, Madam Sudhamurthy, the Infosys chief, called me up.
Mm.
Then she called me up on the phone. I was thinking that I couldn't recognize her voice. Then I just asked her with Sudhamurthy. She said, I said, sorry, madam, it's not you. She said, I want to come and meet you. I want to meet an efficient woman like you. I want to come to
One
Bangalore
more
Medical
woman.
College. The one more woman, achiever, such a big achiever. I said, madam, it's not the you coming to see me. I should come to see you. I took her appointment. I asked her when shall I come. She said, right now. I just flew to that Progeon, which is by the side of Jetava. She gave me 1 hour. She heard me. She listened. And she really, then I asked her, see, madam, you're a philanthropist. Please do something to the poor patients who visit my college, my hospital. So what is that you need? She asked me. So the burning problem for me that time was a central lab. We had the 3 departments of pathology, microbiology, and biochemistry in 3 different areas in the 45-acre land of Victor Hospital. So if the patient required, as an emergency, the investigation pertaining to all the 3 departments, they had to get pricked 3 times.
Mm.
Yeah, they're in different
Are you
places.
serious?
Yes, 3 times they have to be pricked. Imagine the episode. And you know, they work only.
Yes.
They used to work only between 9 and 4.
That I
Oh,
remember, madam.
okay.
I have never understood that when I was
You
a
know why?
student.
Because the sanction post for that money for that timing only. There was no night duty. And all the labs developed, diagnostic labs are developed outside Victor Hospital. Plenty of them were mushroomed because the
samples
deficiency
going
was
on.
inside in the
Correct.
campus. So that was in my mind, because I never thought I would become the dean and all that. Then I told Madam Sudhamurthy. She said, please make that as the first priority. You show me the area where I can establish the lab. Then immediately again, Manaka Gandhi had brought about the rule, no, not to harm animals for animal experiments. So the animal house was in debilitated condition, no animals, and the building was in real shambles. Then we identified that, we took permission from the government to demolish that, and then it
With
was
the central lab.
constructed to a central lab, 24-hour the functional lab donated by Infosys, 3 crores. 3 crores lab was constructed. I planned the lab because I sent my heads of departments of the 3, go and visit corporate hospitals, go and visit medical colleges. We imbibed all. So 20,000 square feet structure she constructed with total AC, and for challenge people also she had that thought that time itself. And then ground floor was the collecting and reporting center. The first floor was pathology. The second floor was biochemistry. Topmost was biochemistry. So at that time, my CM, he didn't want to come and open up an empty building. Then he asked me, what would you like? Would you like to do something to the lab field? Then I took the best opportunity. I thought this was the biggest offer to be done by a CM. I went, I requested him for high-end equipments. The PCRs came in, high-end PCRs I ordered even before COVID came. So that was the vision I had. And they gave me the high-end PCRs, the highest high-end equipments I got, worth 3 crores. Imagine matching her grants. So CM was Kumarasamy, and then he came and cut the ribbon, and we opened it up, and 24 hours functional lab. That is how it helped the PMSSY, the super specialty hospital, to get 24-hour services. Anybody was brought in the part of the night and when needed episodes, investigations done here, and then the patient used to be saved in the PMSSY. All the super specialties started. All this was, you ask for it, it was there, and all students all over India got MCH and DMCs got recognized. And you won't believe, this is not the end of the story. Ghulam Nabi Azad had come as the Union Minister, inaugurate that building.
He was health minister at that
Yeah,
time.
he was health minister, Union health minister.
Correct.
So
Nice
he
guy.
said, this is one of the best hospitals I've ever seen.
Ah.
Super
wow.
specialties. I want the blueprint of this to take it to the AIMS institution because he's a doctor.
Correct.
So he said, I want such a
He's a
hospital.
doctor? I didn't know
He's a
that.
doctor. He's a doctor. So he said, I want to construct such AIMS-like institutions, this same blueprint of, and he took my blueprint. I did medical architecture to make that hospital start with. I was already MCA inspector for 10 years. So I put in my knowledge there. I bought books in the Golden Jubilee celebration of AIMS, which celebrated in Goa, which was the International Conference of Healthcare Sector. And robotic surgeries were known that time itself in 2006 from Finland. So I was so amazed, and there were big books, medical architecture being sold. I bought it with my own money. I brought it because I had this project in mind. Then I planned the union, the same, I think is Hindustan Latex, which took the bidding for the PMSSY construction, the medical architect came for my own chief architect of Karnataka, myself. And we all placed ourselves together. I gave them the books. We sat over that. We planned it. And what you see is the real brainchild of mine living there. First, we're looking after the poorest, the poor. I tell you, people who have come with no hopes have walked out alive. I've seen this in my own eyes. You know why? I had the episode of admitting my husband in one of those episodes in the super specialty building. And those people that time, they looked after me so well, and they told me, you should come and stay in this hospital only. I stayed there, and I used to see people dying being brought in the adjacent wards, and I've seen them walking back alive. That gave me the greatest satisfaction of life.
Imagine.
That I've done something
Correct.
fruitful.
True.
ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಸಾರ್ಥಕ ಆಯ್ತು
Correct.
ಅಂತ I
Ah,
felt,
very
because
true.
I used to see things happening with my husband. When he was asleep, I used to go and visit other parts of the hospital. I was amazed with the type of care they gave, the type of doctors who were rendering all the super specialists. And when there's neurosurgery, there's neurology there. Then is medical gastroenterology, surgical gastroenterology. So the topmost was the HDU beds, then the ICU and HCU, and then the topmost was
Got it.
anesthesia. So the entry and exit was made, everything I planned according to how
Fantastic.
the hospital should function. It's one of the best hospitals. You can't even compare it to a private sector. That's the way I planned
agree,
it.
man. I've seen the
And I
buildings,
tell you,
very
I'm
good.
very proud to tell that because I was the inspector myself, I didn't want any objection from the MCA also. At the same time, I wanted something to really come on par with the corporate hospital.
Correct.
And I tell you, I thank the government for giving that advantage of planning and implementing and constructing that with the poorest of the poor who come to this hospital. Hats off to the government. And I think I feel very proud to say I'm a government servant.
Perfect.
Even today, I feel proud to say, use that word servant, because In front of the government, we are nothing. If they give us an opportunity, only then we can show our capacity. If the
Absolutely.
people didn't support you,
Agreed,
I
agreed.
could not have shown any
I
progress.
agree.
Correct.
And
They
the best
trusted
part,
you. They
yes,
trusted you.
see, the best part was when BMC ranked second to AIMS New Delhi, the then CM took a stand. He said, 40 years, no government medical colleges, go and look for all district hospitals which can be converted into medical colleges. See, during my regime, and when the DMA was there and the Vice Chancellor, we were sent to 6 places. We were sent to many places, but we identified 6 places. One was Mandya, one was Hassan, Belgaum, Bidar, Raichur, and another place, Shimoga. Because the Megan Hospital was there, every area had a major district hospital. We converted that to a teaching hospital. Beautiful architectural buildings according to the architectural beauty of that particular place. They built. Government was so magnanimous that they gave. We were also part of that. All of them grew up to be very big because we couldn't do much to Bangalore Medical College because it's in the vicinity of the Archaeological Survey of India.
Correct.
Tipu Sultan's fort on that side. That side it's a summer palace. So we couldn't do anything because it should not be in a minimum of 10-kilometer radius. We couldn't violate the rules. So we couldn't do beyond what we did in BMC except develop the infrastructure and maybe the facilities. But other colleges grew very well, and I feel very happy and thanks that the government meritorious students of the state of Karnataka came into the 6 medical, making 6 to 10.
I
6 to
agree,
10.
madam. So I make a statement here always, both of us. See, we are both students from Bangalore Medical
Yeah,
College.
meritorious students.
And I think we got an MBBS degree for 5,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Around that
Yes.
time. We may tell everybody, thump our chest and say we were merit students, we were very good, so on, which is the truth. I'm not saying no
Yeah,
to
very
that.
true. You need
But
to
the
have-
reality is to get that kind of infrastructure and get a MBBS degree for 5,000 rupees is impossible. You
Yes,
know
yes.
how expensive it is.
Yeah, definitely.
So I tell everybody the reason we got it for 5,000 rupees is because the public funded our education.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. It's
And
the
if-
tax paid by the
Exactly.
Correct.
And
Exactly.
If we don't serve the public who have done this, and that is what we are sitting and doing here.
Yeah, very true.
So I want to tell our viewers that before we go any further, thank you very much for watching our podcast, Rebooting the Brain. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel, share this video and all the other videos that you have seen, press the bell icon, and definitely make sure that you are on this pain. And we also have Rebooting the Brain book, we have Rebooting the Brain documentary. There's so much that you can educate yourself and create awareness and to help people around you. Please don't miss it. And we continue on this Women's Day special that we are doing with the next lady next to me. So, Dr. Pratibha, I know you went through what you went through with that thing in first MBBS. And I think
Second MBBS.
Second MBBS.
second MBBS. I think the reason you survived all this was because of the champion inside you. Probably
Yes.
you may not realize that.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we know. I mean, can you tell your viewers that she was a national woman, junior swimming champion, and
Yeah,
national
she
junior
had
yoga
told me
champion?
how active she was in sports.
Yeah, so
Our mother
that-
encouraged her.
So can you tell the viewers what is that journey of yours, and then we'll go back to Madam about her journey about this whole process.
Sure. I think my journey started with sports, being my father being my guru, and I started very young, maybe about age of 5 or 6. So I started with yoga and swimming. He taught me at home, and then it went on to roller skating, and then all three parallelly. And I don't think there was a day in my life at that point of time which I can think that I'm free. I can go for a movie or go for a holiday or do nothing, or just play. So things were planned back to back, and at that point of time, I didn't like it really because I thought I was not getting the freedom the other kids got, like my friends and my classmates and all. So I really didn't like what I was doing. But today, looking back at it, I think that was the best thing which happened to me, and my dad pushed me into it. But the
Literally pushed
strong,
you?
yeah, literally
Ah,
pushed
literally
me.
pushed you.
And
Tell them about that.
the strongest person in my life at that time was my mom.
Mhm.
So she traveled with me everywhere. Any event, whether it was skating or yoga or swimming, I would travel all around the country for state level events, for national level events. Everywhere she traveled with me. My dad couldn't travel because he was working, so my mom traveled everywhere. And she was like a backbone for me. And she was making sure that everything of mine was taken care of. My food was taken care of. My nutrition was taken care of. My things for what I require are all ready to be done, and my motivation is on the high, right? So she was somebody who stood behind me, though I don't have her today with me, but wherever she is, I think she'll look
She'll
at me and
definitely
she'll
bless
be
you.
very proud of me. I'm sorry, but I think she was there for me for everything. So I am strong because of her, I should say, right? And you said I was pushed. Yes, my dad was. He was good in yoga. He was good in swimming. So he was my guru. So there was this one time, ma'am, I remember that it was cold. Bangalore was very cold those days, if you remember. I don't know what the temperature was, but it was very freezing cold, and it had rained. So, what do you call those things? The rain flies.
Oh, the
Dragonfly.
rain fly.
Huh. Whatever it's called. You have those moths which fly all over when it rains.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't know what you. Of
Whatever
course, I
that's
know
called.
what you're talking
So
about.
the pool was full of those worms floating, those flies floating, and he used to take me very early because before the other participants, I mean other people came into the pool, because this was a general pool and I would practice, and he would time me for the nationals and things like that. So he told me, jump. I said, no, there's so many moths or whatever flies over there, I'm not going to jump. He said, jump. I said, no. I mean, 3-4 times he told me, and he said, you are going to jump. I said, no, I don't think I'm going to jump. He just pushed me inside. I had moths all over my face stuck, and I hated him at that point of time. But after that practice,
Episode.
I think I became so confident about myself. There was nothing to stop me. So I reached where I reached because of that. Yeah,
I
the
knew you would
champion
tell
in
me
me.
that he pushed you in. I was expecting that action from him,
Correct.
because you're such a strong personality.
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, eventually we need this push, madam. Somebody
Yeah,
True.
really.
Yeah. At
Otherwise,
that
you
time,
give up.
And no, and at that time we may even hate them.
Yeah,
why they're doing
I
this to us,
And you
did.
give
why-
up
I
also,
did.
at times.
yes,
Sometimes, if
absolutely.
you would have run away.
Absolutely.
I wanted to. Many a times I was thinking, why am I only targeted like this? Everybody else is enjoying life. I'm not. But then
And it
today,
made you
when I
stronger.
look back, I think I'm so thankful to what they did. Um, I mean, that's a blessing, I guess. I can't ask for anything more.
Madam,
Think-
I know that you had a similar story with your mother and your father. Why don't you tell a little bit about your childhood and
See, of
are you
course.
from Bangalore, Nama Bengaluru,
Yeah,
or where are you
yeah.
from?
Nama Bangalore.
Uh,
Pakka Bangalorean.
uh.
So,
I
at that
always say I'm born, brought up, and in love with Bangalore. I will
Uh,
not go
not
anywhere.
I think that gives you a great feel about
True.
Bangalore.
Absolutely.
We have to give the full value of our life
I
to the
agree.
city.
I agree.
She was born and bred. I think it's a great
No
value
question.
of being born in this
No
place.
question. No
I don't think you can compare this. Only when you
Correct.
go outside, we'll know the value.
value.
Value of it.
Always I'll say, when will I
Absolutely.
go
You
back?
said it right.
I never liked the place, to whichever place I travel, how beautiful it might be.
Correct.
Bangalore is Bangalore.
Correct.
And born, bred, and come to the schooling in Good Shepherd Convent. Then my aim was, my mother, she had a thyroid issue. That time only Victor Hospital was a functional hospital, because there were no private hospitals. So my dad had taken her. He was an automobile engineer. He took her. He knew the doctors over there, and he brought her for treatment. And she happened to identify one lady doctor by name Dr. Hilda Kovalpillai.
Mm.
She was not my teacher, because I was still in school. It was very middle school. She only heard the name through my mother, and my mother was greatly fascinated by this physician. She was an MRCP, and she treated her. Women go through the normal episode of thyroid issues,
Mhm.
so she was treated. And then her dream. She was married off at 17 years, and successive children, 3 of us. At the age of 21, 3 children, and she felt her dream was unfulfilled. So she always used to, whenever she said something, she'll always quote her age. You have grown up so much. This is what I had a responsibility to people. She used to compare her life, and she would tell me, see, I want you to live my dreams through you. So you have to become a doctor. And after you become a doctor, you've got to be a physician. So
Okay.
because they reminded of Dr. Hilda. Then first of all, I should enter medicine, leave alone become specialist. Then she was the push behind my episode. Of course, I also had a feeling to feel every child has some dream that you want to become something, but by the time you reach, you would divert in some other
Correct.
direction,
True.
taking you in different ways. But when I came to the final year, when I did my PUC, I got a seat in National College. National College was supposed to be the best
Mm.
college in
Those days.
in Bangalore, Basungudi. And we had a very good principal, but Narsimaya was his name. He had done nuclear physics and come from abroad. A simple time, a Gandhian. So he would look into the episode of how the children who admitted themselves into that gave me a good ranking in 10th standard, so SSLC. And then I could get into this college because of the merit, and it was next door of BMC. At the end of that road is Bangalore Medical College.
Correct.
So you have some dreams related to that
Right.
road. I can't forget that road leading from Bangalore Medical College to National College, National
Yes.
College to
That's
Bangalore. What a beautiful road that was with all the
Nostalgic
pictures.
it is.
Nostalgic, very
Yesterday we
beautiful.
drove past that
Yeah.
road.
It's never it can get you off your thoughts, And then when I studied, then I
Yeah.
got a good mark, and then I had to appear for interview at Bangalore Medical College, where the interview took place, and I got a seat in Bangalore Medical College. This was a part of my dreams of my mother fulfilled. That I got into Bangalore Medical College, I entered into medicine. After that, when she was the person who stood by me, as you mentioned about your mother.
Mm.
She didn't do medicine, but she would read all the books of medicine with me. And I
Okay.
was I used to combine studies with my friend. So I was the person who used to read and she used to listen. And we would share our thoughts, interact. We had competitions. We used to have fights. We used to cry also because anybody used to read as much as me. But
Mm.
you get better marks is what she used to tell me. The advantage was, two advantages that I used to speak very fast.
Mm.
So by the time people answer 5 questions, I would answer 10 questions in Viva. Because that helped me.
That's a good one.
Sometimes your own characters help you. The other was I was a very fast writer. So at the end, you used to stand up for paper. So everybody will watch you. Oh, what volume is this? But it was
I
like
know.
that,
I also used to
True.
write very fast. I used to write
I used
84
to write
pages.
very
Ah,
fast.
yeah.
Both were fast. So it helped me to grow in a better
Correct.
way. And my friend was always losing by 5 or 6 marks or 3 marks. And she would say, you study as much as me, and how come you get? So that was the competition. And if she overnight, if she doesn't cover next day, she'll wonder why I finished and she's not finished. So that kept you on pace. Then my mother was also the root cause for that, because she knew I would be reading a little aloud because I cannot read in silence. So I used to follow her sleep. She would make me sit and study on the mat. She won't give me a cozy place. And she would lie down on a mat beside me and watch me studying. Then she'll watch me, and she has to sleep off with the whole day's work for us. Then, I used to become silent. Then she'll suddenly raise and say, "So are you studying?" I used to tell her, "Cheater, I was reading in my mind." She knows I cannot read. She'll go and make coffee, come and make me drink again. And she would also read with me, That passionate my mother was about medical studies. Then when I became a house surgeon, she developed a condition of the brain which gave her a severe headache. Then they diagnosed it as collagen disease. Those days, collagen disease was the
Correct.
disease that was being, they didn't diagnose, it was collagen disease. And then she developed internal hydrocephalus, and she developed, they had to relieve the internal hydrocephalus, so they had to take her for surgery, had to give the consent, and she died on the OT table. So she had a cardiac arrest, and of course, I gone through a very bad phase in months where she was operated because the hospital had just come up, and I used to see death in my eyes at the age of 23. So you see all people just dying like rats. They would be brought, they would put in the recovery room, post-operative ward, everything was common because the hospital was just developing. Then, I used to look at all that and feel, oh, see, I've become a doctor, and what is this happening here? See, you're seeing death in your eyes, at such a young age, gave me a very big trauma.
We had the same feeling with the second wave of COVID, madam.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
Absolutely right.
Hopelessness and helplessness.
It was
Yeah. We
devastating.
couldn't do anything.
You cannot imagine, man. I've never felt like this. I remember one Saturday night, our hospital was full everywhere bed. We had 35 ambulances standing outside with ventilator required. Where to put?
And people were brought dead.
I know.
Nothing.
No, broad dead, and people would die in front of you. They're breathing the
frustrating.
last breath. Oh, it is
Really frustrating.
it is too
Really
much.
It was similar to that, because I'd seen death in my eyes at that young age. And that particular time, her dreams of what she wanted me to become, she would ask me. I had just gone for the interview. She asked me, "Have you asked for medicine?" I cannot tell her anything when she's on deathbed.
Internal medicine.
Yeah,
Post
internal
graduation.
medicine. And she was totally blind at that time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Papa.
before the surgery, she was blind. She only used to search and ask for me. And then it was a very sad state. I couldn't just bear through that grief. Alone, I used to face the trauma because it was a middle class family of mine. My father had to earn because his finances were exhausted. My brother used to cook, giving up college. My sister used to look after the daytime. I used to look after in the night. That was the family, and no other relatives came to our rescue at that particular time. People didn't give us help. So we didn't depend on anybody. Only 4 of us managed her. And then I went through that
I want
trauma.
to say something, madam. Every time when I have patients admitted in the critical care, same problem with relatives. well-wishers as what we call now. So I tell him the key relatives, that is the wife or the husband or the father, mother, with all these other 5, 8 people. I tell everybody I'm allergic to all relatives, including my own relatives.
Very true. I think
Number
you
one,
got to endorse that.
Number one, those who are least connected to the patient talk maximum.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, when the time of paying the money, nobody comes.
Yeah, because they think you're going to ask for finances.
Thirdly, nobody gives encouragement, madam. Yeah, everybody says this fellow died, that fellow died, this happened, this complicated.
And they discuss on that postmortem on the death.
They do the pay. So I said, if they give you confidence, not that they give
There
you
should
money,
be
what's
moral
the point?
support,
Exactly, madam. So this is, I can clearly, it's
I
still
went
today it
through
happens, madam.
why I chose anatomy is the reason I'm coming to. Why career of anatomy became my theme, though my mother wanted me to see as a physician. But before that episode, when I was an undergrad student, Dr. Chandrasekhar Shetty was a postgraduate student. He was my first mentor in medicine. He was such a good ophthalmologist. And as you
They
said,
went on to become the dean of
no,
Yeah.
no, he was a director. He became the vice chancellor. Rajiv Gandhi's second vice chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University. He was my favorite teacher.
Great guy, man.
There's no words.
That book is
A great man in my profession. He was my first mentor because I didn't choose anatomy till then. I was an undergraduate student. He influenced me so much. I used to always think there are two kind of people who need real values. The mentally challenged are the people who don't know the world. The second group is the people who are blind, who don't know the beautiful world. So my heart used to think about them. And when he used to do teach us in ophthalmology, I used to think how many people's eyes can I restore? When will their blindness be removed and how will they see the world? I wanted to see that kind of a subject where I will give vision. That was my dream at that particular stage. Then he used to like me because he was a very bright student in ophthalmology, because you love the subject because of the teacher. So teacher makes you love the subject. He made me fall. And in my alphabetical order, I was posted to his unit. And as you said, the advantage was questions, answers were fast. So he didn't know. Even today he remembers me. So that used to make him feel happy. When you're a postgraduate student, when you're training an undergraduate, if somebody is living up to your expectation, you feel more happier.
Absolutely.
So that was my first dream. So when this episode happened, when my mother was on deathbed, and then I decided that there's no, when I couldn't serve and save my mother at that time, what's the use of my being a doctor? And you won't believe, that time I decided I should take a basic subject foundation course in medicine, which is anatomy. I produce world-class medical students and give them to the world. See, some thought process worked where my destiny was already decided.
Amazing.
But the turning point was that point. And soon after that, I became, because I was a third rank holder in MBBS, first rank holder in community medicine, I would have got any subject if I had applied. But at that time, I chose anatomy on my own. Nobody guided me. I was alone in the process of choosing, because there was no doctors who would guide me to say you should do this or that. Somewhere somebody will help you. If your relative, my cousin was an ophthalmologist. When I went and told him, shall I do anatomy? He said, go ahead. Because he didn't want me to compete with him. Oh my God. Actually, as you said, he said, no, relatives, they don't want to see you grow better than them. And I passed in the first attempt. He lost in surgery.
Oh.
He's no more today. But his father came running to see me, because it used to come in the papers, the results. So he come early in the
Correct.
morning to see, when my son couldn't pass in the first attempt, what is she going to do? And education, they used to think is co-education, So they used to think something else is going on, they don't study. They don't come up and study. They used to always have that, old timers will think like that, But he couldn't imagine that I passed with flying colors and my number was in the paper, pass. So I remember he came early in the morning and my mother was the first person to jubilate, because seeing me pass in the first attempt was a great thing, and finally in the house urgency only she died. And then it so happened, after that I chose anatomy and there's no feedback at all. When I joined anatomy, it took me to Hubli, because my start is in KMC Hubli, because emergency was declared. So there was no change in the transfer. Indira
okay.
Gandhi had declared
Yeah, yeah,
emergency.
yeah.
Then I took the job there. And after that particular time, they asked you to do post-graduation and you will be put to the parent college to do PG. So both my husband was in BMC. He's also product. Finally, he had already left by the time I joined first MBBS. He also got BMC and I also got, he did general medicine. See how God brought the destination. Though my mother wanted me to be in general medicine, my husband was in general medicine. I'm just telling you how the episode
True.
happened. So her dreams are partially fulfilled. And then I took anatomy. Yeah, it was there. Then we did post-graduation together in Bangalore Medical College. See, the end of the story was, by the time I passed in the first attempt, my mentor and guide and the best person under whom I learnt anatomy, the greatest anatomist in my period was Dr. Krishnayars.
Okay.
He was the head of department when I came down to do PG, he was transferred from Mysore Medical College to Bangalore Medical College. And then that was a time, a very learned man, and he never would compromise on the quality of the staff he was training, especially at PG. So I had to again live up to his expectation. See, at every level, you have to match the person whom you are going to work under,
Correct.
or you show your capacity. So all that built me in, from that age, young age, that I started PG as soon after my joining the service. I was very young. And then once it builds in you, I think it becomes a big challenge the rest of your life to achieve something higher and higher and
It
higher.
becomes
That,
inherent to your.
it becomes, and I think you want to live up to the expectations of
Like an
somebody who's
auto
greater
mode.
intellectual as you.
Goes into the
Yeah,
thalamus and starts
very
thinking.
true. And I really worked so hard. Then I passed in the first attempt on him. He is not so easy to pass with him. Many
Oh,
people
I
have
know.
failed on them. Big stalwarts. I wouldn't name them, but all of them have failed in the first attempt. So mine was the first pass under this gentleman. So the controversy started there without knowing the knowledge of people around you, because naturally, you'll climb the ladder very fast. The moment you pass your PG, you become a professor quickly. The others were never opted for this subject. So my seniors, I was the youngest. The senior people were always with one foot out. They didn't want to do post graduation. Ultimately, they did, and they became junior to me. I was even an examiner for them, to tell you
Oh.
frankly. That stage it reached. Then when I passed in the first attempt, and he was very, very proud of my this thing performance in the PG exam. So his own friends were brought. So I have to live up to the expectation of those people.
Correct.
And then I have to also maintain my own respect. No, what is the great one? And every time I used to think, what if I fail? What if I fail? Was always in mind. But it didn't happen because you had to do. And the third paper is a very tough paper to pass. It contains anthropology, it contains the vertebrate body, genetics, which is unrelated and not taught in those days. And anthropology is something about the instruments you use, which is never used or shown. No use for the undergraduate teaching or postgraduate teaching. They used to have, that was the standard. And the fourth paper would have a question of 3 hours. I mean, 3 hours with only one topic, only 3 topics. Out of the 3 topics, if you don't know, it's a 0. So
Oh
you can
my God.
imagine, anatomy is not an easy subject to pass unless you live up to the standards of that type of cadre. That is the way, again, it groomed you to be stronger, because you have to toss challenges at every stage. And getting first attempt pass was the biggest celebration. And it came to a stage when the examiners came. I was the only candidate. And then I have to fulfill the way my own internal was like an external. He asked me questions which externals would not ask, because he was of that level and standard. There's no compromise. I tried to show the standard of my student. Not that he taught me, but he has every right to ask me, because anything should be answered. Then one of the ladies, I still remember, who came from Madras Medical College, she went on asking questions. Then I said, "Madam, will this be a last question?" Is what the other examiner said. We are stopping. No, I want her. I will stop her only when she says she doesn't know.
No.
Okay.
And again, a challenge built into you.
Amazing,
You can
amazing.
imagine, he went on
Too much,
on
too
and
much.
on and on, and they had to stop. I also built up a big challenge and see what is that I cannot answer, which you're going to ask. I'm just telling you that built up, and I tell
Amazing.
you, that was again a beautiful day, and I still honor
We have to map your brain to see what is going on inside. Madam. Like
No,
this
no,
is-
I've also signed up for the brain bank in Nimans.
Oh,
Yeah, really telling you, because all the stimulated me and Dr. Raghunath, who was the Director General, we went to meet the Shankar.
Shankar,
Mm.
definitely.
He only did that. He was alive that time.
I
He took us
know.
around.
Very
and
nice
showed-
guy, madam.
Very nice guy. He passed away, I was
I
told.
know, I
I
know.
went recently when Pratibha honored me who was the chief guest for the Teachers' Day.
Ah,
That
correct.
time she told me, you must go and see all these places. She sent me to see the PET scan, the molecular lab, and she told me to see the brain bank and all that, because I went a little early, like I came here.
I think
So
she's
she-
also your student, I
Yeah,
think,
she's
no?
my student of
Yeah.
83.
Amazing.
80, not, yeah, I think 80, 81, 81. Both her and her husband. So she also appreciated a lot of the time she spent in BMC. It was a great feel. And all the alumni of BMC took a big photograph of the people who have become faculty in Nimans. Oh, you can imagine
Yeah, I
so
think
much.
many
Lot
of
of
them
them are
are
there.
Lot of
They
them
only
are there.
conducted the function for me.
True.
And you have forgotten all of them. Then she took a special photograph with all of them standing around me, who are the representatives in Nimans. That's a nice feel which went on. And my passing was a great adventure. And after that, I decided,
I
like
know
my
you were
professor was
telling us
adored.
offline
Yeah.
how much people try to do match fixing for you.
Yeah, it
Ah,
happens,
madam,
and-
I can't imagine. I don't know how both you women. What maybe it was trying. You were all, I think, being trained for bigger things. I think they want you to become battle hardened, as they say,
Yes,
madam.
exactly,
Yes.
absolutely
I
right.
think so. Yeah, otherwise, I don't think.
Otherwise, it's not easy to survive in the world of
And
health professionals.
and madam,
Correct.
it kept you going. See, at no point of time neither of you gave up to
Right.
say
We
no.
didn't break down with the
Huh.
stress we had around us.
So you had your
True.
challenges, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is you
One
still
more
had
thing,
the.
Sharan, I want to tell you,
Mm.
I've done justice even in my family front. My
I was
husband was
just going to
there.
ask.
Yeah.
I was going to ask
that was
That was
the
also a big
common
challenge, you know.
question
You
I
can't
get.
neglect the family at the cost of the career.
Correct.
Okay, so I had only one son, and he wanted to be a doctor. My husband was very keen. He chose some other field except medical profession because he said you will have to do post graduation, then you have to do super specialization. You'll be studying throughout your life. So this
So your
boy,
husband brainwashed him not
yeah,
to become
already,
doctor?
he
Amma.
was brainwashed. I said, see, just leave him alone.
Correct.
What? Let him take, and he taken PCMB.
Ah.
And this boy was good in biology. Then, you know, when it came to the counseling, when he passed the PCMB with good marks in both mathematics and biology, he came and told me one thing, Ma, I want to tell you, I don't want to be a student like you throughout life sitting with books. The time I was born, I've seen you with books. He used to come as a small kid, come and throw the books. The time I was doing post graduation, a professor used to study, you know, to keep pace. So he would never touch the book my husband was reading. He would come to me and take my book and throw. Then he told me, I can't forget that. I don't want to do the same blunder in my life, sitting with books in front of my children. So I will not take up medicine. I'm going to take over engineering. He went in for computer engineering. Was the computer science was the subject that time. He went off, and now
Right.
he's in TCS, very happily enjoying. Married a IT professional who was his wife, who was also into Deloitte. So they are a different tribe, and we are a different tribe. Myself and my husband.
Right.
Tribe. But
Everything.
nobody understands our mindset and all. But you have to be
But,
this profession to understand that.
and you won't believe that is one of the reasons he diverted. I could concentrate on my profession as an administrator of BMC. If he had to be in medicine, maybe I would have gone behind him. I don't know, because you don't leave them alone, you know.
Correct.
This is your profession.
Correct,
You keep
correct.
poking your nose everywhere.
Correct, correct.
And I felt very happy. He relieved me. He went off an area which he excelled. He became street smart in his field. I'm wonderstruck even today the way he talks. I didn't even know anything.
Madam, if you look at the way you talk, you know, I think he might
No,
have
and
got
then, you know, I was
genetic.
very happy that he branched off. And you know, I want to tell you, Sharan, I was the senior most in the state of Karnataka. I told you, the 75 batch. 11th year, I was an officiating professor. So when I occupied the chair of the dean, I was already 20 years as a professor. Nobody
Oh.
had 3 years. They were having 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. I was the senior most in the state of Karnataka, senior most in the Bangalore Medical College. My teachers and my husband were junior to me because of the cadre rise. So everybody enjoyed working under me, you know. I maintained my respect with everybody. Everybody loved. My teachers took contract appointment in general medicine when the post it was in the court of law. For nearly 15 years, they did not solve the seniority. So everybody, the vacancy kept on coming after retirement of my teachers. They came back to me telling me, if you're going to get me contract appointment, again, we want to come and work under you. I worked for so many people, got them back on contract appointment, and they worked under me with happiness. See, that's the respect I give my teachers. They loved working under me. Who likes to work under a student who was attained the highest position? I was not envied by anybody because I treated everybody with respect. Of course, there were thorns in my flesh of some super specialists who would never allowed me to do my job properly because they had very good influence with the government and with higher ups, you know, which you cannot do as a woman. You have to do your job. I was confined to my chair. I did work only in Bangalore Medical College. I never went to Vidhan Sauda. I never went to the secretariat because it didn't warrant me. If you do a job rightly in that place, you don't have to do that, you know. And they always aspire to sit on the chair. The chair is full of thorns. They don't know that. But when they sit only, they'll realize. So from outside, always a lot of taunts and pressures and lots of things would happen, you know. But I was,
Which is why I'm acknowledging you, madam. First, being a woman,
yes,
then you're not having a godfather in the government.
yes.
And on this thorn business, in spite of all of that, you're having so much of energy at this
Yeah.
age. I mean, we have to now get
It's
some
amazing.
energy from you and see what is
I
going
really
on.
felt, you know, because I could serve my alma mater. See, it's a drop in the ocean of what I've done to her. I felt so proud and happy. And, you know, I'll tell you, they're winding up this continued topic. Dr. Sanjay Shetty was my mentor, I told you.
Correct.
You won't believe, one day he became the I was the director of quality assurance and accreditation at the university. Sri Prakash was the vice chancellor. He opened up 6 new departments. After I finished my episode in MVJ, at that time, psychosomatic backache had developed. I got bedridden. When I got PG seats in 50 subjects with one shot recognition of 12 subjects, after the declaration of the results in 2011, I could not just get up.
Oh.
Then they advised me to go total rest, you know. That time I happened to, because Dr. Srinivasan was a very good friend of Mohan. So he wanted me to consult him because he wanted me back early because he was working in MBJ. So I went and met him. He was the one very senior to me. Then he told me, you need to be only on bed rest. Only for the restroom and food you should get up. You should be lying down as a log. Everybody laughed. What is the man talking? He's advising like that. Because, you know, otherwise he said, I'll put you under the knife. So that frightened me up. And then I did what he did. Within 1 month, 80% of the pain disappeared because I was cut off with the stresses around me, you know. A lot of stress to
Correct,
get the
correct.
50 seats, first
Absolutely.
attempt recognition. A college was closed down for 3 years. They used to ask me, "Is Setter Heneke Enge Jiva Kotrin Kadoro?" I used to think, why are they comparing it like that? And when I entered, rebirth. And Mohan was very, very happy. He was a surgeon. He was from KIMS. He was the MS from Davangere. So he really gave me the free hand. Actually, he chose me with the recommendation. He came and requested Vidyashankar to influence me. At the age, I retired at the age of 58. So Kumaraswamy gave me 2 years extension my CM because he didn't want to lose me.
Mm.
Then, I didn't want to take that because I thought, see, people called me very arrogant. You know the reason why? I thought in the 2 years, there were 3 people to be the dean director. They come to the tail end of their career, and you should never make yourself indispensable. And you should always leave with grace and dignity, is what I felt. So everybody told me. Then I used to react to my people. Who are you to decide what I should do in life?
Correct.
You just leave me alone. When I used to, I cannot tell them, no, I'm giving place to these people and going away. Anybody given extension with the government, nobody say no.
Correct.
Who
Correct.
doesn't want a position of power and position?
Exactly.
But I was right to the zenith, So I felt that was the right time to leave. And people, you won't believe, on the day I retired, the amount of crying people who left me with such an episode, it touched my heart so heavily. I did not know I touched the lives of so many people. Till 6 o'clock, the government didn't send orders to relieve me. So I thought Kumaraswamy is giving me 2 years extension. I was very scared, Imagine what I can do. And actually, it so happened, they forgot. Then I rang up Vidyashankar. I said, "Sir, no relievers come, sir. It's 6 o'clock." You won't believe, suddenly, when I got the order, the word spread. People came from the library, like ants, they came from the Kavanivalas Hospital, Victor Hospital, all the staff, the office staff, my students, everybody crying. Then I thought I should not cry because they'll think I've left a post of power and position. This lady is crazy. But you can't remain a stone, no. They touched my life. You won't believe, Sharan, you know where my house is. I started crying from BMC. I couldn't stop till I reached home. That was the amount of emotions that broke out,
True.
And that was the attachment. My husband also thought this lady will become mad because she's 40 years, she's attached. Where she's going to live with me in peace after that? What's she going to do? You won't believe. Saturday 30th was my birthday, so I got to leave on Saturday because Sunday was 31st. I went to BMC. I removed all my belongings from my department. I took out from the principal's office, dean's office, but I didn't remove that. Then after Monday, when I went there, I felt I didn't belong to that place. A great sense of detachment. Imagine if I'd gone crazy, I would have gone for depression.
Correct. True.
Because the attachment makes you so strong,
Agreed, madam, agreed.
You're born in that place, you're leaving that place with such a tearful exit. How your emotions don't work? You're a normal human being. And really, I left, and even today, I don't feel I belong to that place. But still, I love my institution. I'm deep rooted there because I'm still the life member of the BMC Development Trust. My development goes on through me. Even now, I don't miss out any meetings. I go for the growth of my institution because that is the institution, the magnificent institution which I studied remains the most beautiful mother on the earth for me.
Correct.
So that's a beautiful feel.
You told us that when you became principal, you got an arrest warrant against you.
Yeah, yes.
One
That episode.
What is that episode, and what is the message you want to give doctors like you who also become administrators? And see, as doctors always say, we are the cream of the society. So we really are at the top, intelligence-wise. But you also have to have otherworldly intelligence also. So
To
can you
survive.
share with our viewers what that
And
episode was?
more importantly, we have a lot of youngsters now who are bigger population of women. Like my organization is, I think
Full of women.
85% is not full of women. Yeah, 85% is girls, women. So I think there are a lot of young women who will get into positions like you and me. So your experience, our experience, I think it'll help
I can't
them.
forget that episode. I just occupied the chair of Bangalore Medical College in 2004. And
As
it's,
principal.
as principal.
Mm.
First was principal, then it became
Yeah,
the first.
yeah.
After it became autonomous,
Yeah.
it became dean. And you won't believe, before I started that, it so happened that because it was July, I was taking charge. I was given in charge before that episode of my previous principal's issues. So that was a different story. So I was prematurely given the in charge post. Then I took over officially. Because we get the senior when somebody is there, unless they relieve them, you can't take over the position.
Correct.
You're called as in charge. Then I still remember in the month of April, I was given the charge as in charge. That time postgraduate admissions were going on. And what you have to do, government will post them almost in the last day. The 1st of May is the holiday. 30th is the last day. And if you don't make them enter on with the date of 30th, you lose the PG seats.
Oh.
So the whole number of 250 students are waiting outside for admission. It'll come on the last day. You'll have to work even in the nights. Then I had to do payments you have to do to the bank. So government, I mean, even the banks cooperate with you, because they get the seal of the date. Because seal of the date of the next day it doesn't come. So all that they did, and the India Today man walked in that time.
India Today.
India Today. He came and put me a big format. He said, fill up this and give it to me now. I have to rank your college in the country. That was the time, the second rank. Yeah, ranking. Then I told him, did you see people waiting outside? So please understand that I don't look at this immediately, but give me some time. How can you tell me overnight to do something? I can't give you that time. Then the people there will not get the seats. They immediately what did I said, when are you going back? You have to go back to Calcutta to collect some information. I said, what time are you going? He said 9 o'clock. I said, you come at 7 o'clock. You collect my paper from here. You go. The 5 hospitals, I called all the assistant professors. I put them to collect all the data. And they brought it, kept it on my table. This man came the next day at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and took away the papers. The May episode of India Today shows me the second best medical college in the country. Imagine if I had not put myself to do that kind of work, I would not have known where I ranked.
Correct.
And that was the episode which took off my career. It took off the state of Karnataka. Bangalore Medical College rose to international heights, because that is not an ordinary thing to
True,
achieve.
absolutely.
You cannot say time is important. I cannot do this. You have to keep working throughout the day and night. It's a 24-hour job.
We were proud. I showed her, madam.
I
showed
know.
her on the thing and said, look at this, we are ranked number 2 now.
That was one, great feel for me. So it went on, and at that particular time, soon after I became the official principal, I got the policeman coming from the Kalaspalli police station telling me, you're given an arrest warrant.
Huh.
For what?
I was very shell-shocked. What is that I have done? I've just taken over 2 days ago, and what is that? Then I came to know, because of the previous principals not having acted on the labor court issue of the Minimum
Oh.
Wages Act of the hostel workers,
Oh,
they are not attended
Uh,
court at all.
court at all. So exported decision went in favor. Unattended goes exported decision laborers. And labor code is very strong when it comes to laborers. You cannot do injustice
Correct,
to them.
correct.
And Minimum Wages Act is a very big violation. See, with the rising hostel students, you have to put in the extra money to pay their working charges. You cannot keep them apart. And you cannot divide the mess bill and just distribute it to the people who are in the hostel.
Correct.
Everybody, the warden should know the rule. The secretary should know the rule. The principal is the president of the hostel. They must know the rules. They didn't do all that. And then I was given the arrest warrant. I got a jolt. Then it was the boys' PG hostel. The orthopedician, who is now the dean director, he was with me as the warden. So we had to go bail ourselves. Luckily, it was a bailable warrant. Then we went there and we stood in that witness box. Everybody watching you. Everybody knows us, but we don't know anybody. They were having a gala laugh, thinking that this lady is going to be punished. And what did the other people think of you? They would have thought
True,
you
very
committed a
true.
crime for no fault of yours.
Correct. No fault of yours.
No fault of mine. I don't know the episode. I came out, when I stepped out the first time I entered the High Court. When I came out, I broke down so badly. I vowed I should cleanse all the dirt of the past. Do a clean administration when I was in the chair. Then leave no episodes left for the next principal to face the consequence. That took me a challenge,
Very
and
true.
it was a big challenge for me. I decided this should not happen to anybody. Then I went. That is how this gentleman came to my life, who saved my situation. So when I asked, the file was empty. That one man was there as the office superintendent. When my previous principal retired, when I was giving her a send off, and I have to do the welcome also. They had to do the welcome. So that man told my previous principal, Madam, ask her to be like you. We know she's strict. She cannot say that we cannot come on time. So please ask her to have your way of administration, he told. Then madam asked me to talk. Then I said, I took this thing. I said, those are the people who are not interested in working with my style of functioning. I don't have to listen to what my previous principal does. Her administration is over, my administration starts. When I can come early, being a woman, you are a man. What's the necessity for you not to come at 10:30? If you don't want to
Correct.
follow any rules, you can take your transfer and go away. I told him that.
Madam?
Yeah, I told in front of my principal, who was the ex-going. See, she's telling, no, I will tell her to be like me. How can you tell that, yeah? And she even signed the CTCs, which I've already signed. She did some blunders there also, where they got me into a bigger blunder. It went for Untouchability Act, then people went
Oh
underground.
my God.
Yeah, oh God, I tell you, that was the biggest episode. You know where I got the influence from? Kashiram. Kashiram. My God, you don't know.
Madam, where all you are godfathers?
I tell you, I don't know.
I think you have to thank the Almighty for this.
I know.
Yeah,
True.
you know what happened? There was one man who was working in Minto. His post was not to be transferable. But what the present director and the MS in Minto, they got the seat, the order done by madam after she rendered service to me. I mean, handed over charge. She should not have done the transfer. She's already out of job. She did that. Then I knew that man was a troublesome man, in Minto. We know about each other. I said, why should I touch a man who's comfortable? His post is there. It's a community ophthalmology post which you cannot transfer to Bowring. Then if I do again, he challenged me, I'll go to court unnecessarily because of her action. I should use my sense. I'm facing it, no? So it so happened I was sitting there. This was one episode of the jail, arrest warrant. So somehow I worked on that, and that man got transferred. He went off, and that is the fellow who took away my file, kept it empty. What can I do? Again, I had to build it up through somebody, get the High Court order from some private advocate who was my family friend. I could build up the file, and I used to ask him to attend the court on my behalf. I never left it unattended. When I had to go, I had to go. Because we can't keep it unsolved, no? If somebody's done it, the same thing is going to happen to the next principal. Why should I allow that dean? So this man who came in Minto, we started the days on the 1st of July only, this headache started for me. This episode occurred on 4th.
It was
the
like
arrest warrant.
It was like a welcome resort for you.
Imagine, and then that man was with the north in Bihar. And then his uncle came. He was a minister's brother. So he came to me and said, by the time the news spread that he's transferred to Bowring, another man was transferred from Bowring, he was retired. They transferred him to Minto. That fellow was happy in Bowring. This man is happy in Minto. Why should I touch? If you are going to be happy in both places, I should not bother. I should not have headache. If I am infusing, I am going to suffer. So that man came and he gave me a big representation. You know who I am and you know who that man is. If you touch him, you see what I'm going to do. He threatened me. I said, did I give you the orders? I have executed the orders for your man to get transferred. Why are you talking all that? Please go, I told him. He was my teacher when I was an undergraduate. Then he was the way I spoke, he got frightened. I was very tough. When I've not done any transfer, how dare it comes and threatens me? Then that man came back, the fellow who was supposed to be transferred. That fellow was another fellow who everybody used to tremble. Jaikiti, and the police principals used to tremble seeing the gentleman. He was having such a strong hold on them. So I didn't bother. He came as cool as a cucumber. He wrote a big letter and brought. And then I said, what is that? I asked him. He said, about the transfer. I said, please tear it. Have you given you orders to go? You are in Minto. And that other man is in Bowring. What is your problem? Please stay back in your own places. I have not touched anybody. This order is not mine. I have taken charge, and did that order come from me? No. Then why are you putting threats to me? First day itself, July 1st. Can you imagine? Then I went off, and then, the higher...
Big thorn, I think. Big thorn.
Yeah. Imagine facing the worst people on the first day, in the morning at 10:30 itself.
Amazing.
Then you don't know the job. You are a teacher. You're not an administrator. You have to learn your job slowly, If you start getting threatenings in the first episode, you'll be wondering what you're able to do in this organization, If this starts the episode. Then it so happened, I was called by the director at that time. Then that man was keen on causing this problem for me. And, then I went, and the secretary also called me. Then he said, it so happened, I went off by my car to the secretariat, and this man got caught in the traffic jam in Sheshadri Road. So it so happened, he said, the secretary has called you for an inquiry against why you didn't execute that order. Then who's he to tell me to execute the order? Is he going to face? He wanted me in trouble in the beginning because I didn't want to be his deputy director. No, he wanted me to be his deputy director because I refused. He started giving me trouble from day one because I became principal. No, easy for him to control me. Then I didn't know this was the basis. You don't know the personal hatreds, the problems.
The agendas there,
Yeah,
you never know.
and they are in the higher up position. They can do any controls of you. Then I went. Then I met the secretary. He said. Then I looked for them. They were not there. Then there was another gentleman who was the deputy secretary. He said, what madam, what made you come? I said, the director told me you want to see me, sir. I want to tell you I'm caught between the deep sea and the devil. 2 stalwarts I have. I kept them happy. I put that man in the place he's working after retirement in Bowring. The other man's post is only in Minto. So I kept him there only. But I don't know why my director has got a problem. He's expecting me to interchange and cause problem for me. and then he asked the deputy secretary, why are they doing all this? He said, then that man barged in. And he was shocked to see me already talking. The next question, that was the secretary was quite good only. He was Sanjeev Reddy's grandson. I don't mind naming him. He is Mr. D.V. Prasad. So he was quite dynamic and very fast acting. First question, he saw the director and asked, is she officiated? No, make her officiating. Officiating promotion came up without any interest, without money. Can you imagine? I didn't work.
Yeah, amazing.
So it happened. Then the other person who was responsible to get me the officiating dean's post, Sharan, was Madam Sudhamurthy. So she wanted to give me, because I had to get 3 crores for building up the lab, Then she asked me, are you officiated? I said, no, madam, the order has not come. Give me the number of the minister. Madam, I don't know the number of the personal number of the minister. You get it from his PA. She was in America. And she called up and she told the minister, see, if you have to give me 3 crores for that building, if I'm going to give something, you make a officiating. If you're in charge, you can't do anything. You are officially not right. Then she gave me officiating order because of her quick action. Officiating order was done quickly. I became the dean immediately.
Amazing.
Can you imagine? Somebody plays a role for somewhere,
True.
and the 3 crore project came up, and she gave me and built the central lab. Lot of helps have come.
Correct.
She was a woman. She knew
Exactly,
how much I was
madam.
working.
Something happens here, something happens in
And I
balance.
said you, she was a women leader. She's one of the best performers in the world. A great figure. So she knew the troubles faced by me because she would have seen
I
things
think she would
happening
also
around, and
gone
she would have
through
understood. She's
Correct.
gone through. She's given in her personal life the episodes, how when she was studying, what happened. She was the only woman in the
Correct, the
engineering
Her
college.
class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how she was
true.
humiliated, how she rose, and I always take her as inspiration. Because I
True.
used to listen to
The
her.
next negative question I have for you is that you told me some doctor came with a machete and tried to. I mean, madam, it sounds like one
Yeah, movie. Exactly.
It is.
I mean, are you in BMC? This happened
Yes, in BMC. In my
And
office.
by a doctor?
By a doctor, a professor.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
See, it was
I can't imagine, madam. That's why I'm asking
it
you
was
this
a
question.
trivial. If you ask me the reason, you laugh.
Huh,
See, actually, I was conducting the postgraduate examinations under the banner of Rajiv Gandhi.
huh.
And it's a
You were
question
the
of.
principal at that time.
No, I was the. Yeah.
Huh.
Because I have to be the chief superintendent.
Correct,
Hmm.
correct.
So I should choose a team who will maintain the image of BMC. Postgraduate examinations for all colleges within Bangalore. It's not only Bangalore Medical College.
Okay.
Because it was the major center. They believed in the center, and you can imagine the amount of care you have to take to see that your name is not spoiled. Once the
Correct.
center loses the reputation, your reputation is gone
True.
with that. And people will wait to do something. So outside students will come and do, no? So they'll bribe people, they'll give us, take a seat behind the pillar. There was a big pillar in Rajendra Prasad Auditorium.
Oh, big pillar, I remember.
You won't believe how vigilant I used to be. I used to never put, even my clerks were very smart. We will try to help some people and put them under coverage. But I'll be on the top watching them. I can easily make out, anybody being put, I'll displace it, I change, I'll put the number, I'll find out who's sitting there, I change the seat to the number. I used to do because I know my fellows, and it's outside colleges also coming. So at that time, I had to put very vigilant room superintendents because professors only can look after a particular 3 rows or something. There's a rule of the university, And then that particular time, I don't know why he was desperate about the quantum of money which was given to an invigilator. That's not something which he could not have survived. He should not have acted so mean. So I didn't know the episode. So I took only selected number of people whom I trust. I can't trust you if you are not vigilant and you may do malpractice. The malpractice, what you do, comes to me.
Correct.
So I didn't post him. And it so happened, as you said, no arrest warrant was given from the in the High Court. I went to the High Court and came back so dejected, myself and the other warden. And this episode occurred at 5 o'clock.
Same day?
Oh.
Same day only.
Okay.
See, imagine my
Back to
episode,
back.
Same day.
Uh,
Imagine no thinking, that episode left me so
I
down.
can imagine.
I couldn't just take it, that insult, standing in the witness box. I've seen in movies, not
True,
in
true.
real life, standing like two criminals.
Yeah.
White man, this man.
For no fault
and,
of
yeah,
yours.
putting my head in shame. And once I crossed the court hall, I broke down, I cried. Because why should this torture start for me like this when I'm not
Absolutely.
connected, and people around looking at you as if you're a criminal. Everybody will look at
Very
you,
true.
They think this lady has done something. Imagine my life starting like a criminal there. Then I came back. This fellow was waiting with a machete behind his back. I went to use the restroom. I washed my face and come. And my warden was sitting with him. And that man said, put your hand on my back. So this fella very obediently rubbed his back and he saw a machete hanging. And then he could not tell me because when I walked in to come and sit in my chair, luckily for me, I should have come in the direction where this man was sitting. He would have harmed me. But my good luck, I went to the other side.
Divine.
Okay.
Divine grace, I went to sit in my, before I went to sit on my seat, he took the machete hammer. He took,
Oh my
he was
God.
rushing towards me. I had to scream, because sudden expect. Then I asked my PS, was already there, was standing with me. And then there was a security outside. It was 5 o'clock. Nobody remains at 5:30 and all. No? They came and then, it was a big episode. The talk of the Bangalore Medical College. Can you imagine what all things have happened, Big challenges.
Madam, I can't even imagine this. Sounds like
True.
one.
Movie story.
Make a
Absolutely.
movie in your name, I think.
Really, it was a movie. But I faced all these challenges.
Madam,
Nothing
yeah.
deterred me. Sharan, I went. They told me I was going to lodge a complaint to the police.
Amazing.
See, everybody advised me. So if I don't do it also, this will get the upper hand.
Correct.
I went to the central police station, which is near Minto, went and lodged a complaint. The inspector was very happy. He said, I'm going to keep him behind bars. But you won't believe, your heart sinks for human beings, That momentary action you do, you're going to ruin somebody's life.
Correct.
And he has been my fellow colleague on the same premises, I used to see him every day walking down when I crossed to my department. And he was the father of two girl children, very young children. And I felt, if this fellow goes behind the bars, what will be the fate of the family's reputation? Who will
True.
learn? Who will look after? The next day I went and withdrew. Then the inspector
You withdrew the
scolded me.
complaint?
Yeah, I withdrew the complaint because I told the inspector. Inspector got very angry with me. He said, you are encouraging such people. and what
Very
you're doing."
true.
I said, this episode should make him, ತಿದ್ದಬೇಕು.
But
He
did
must
that
change his-
happen, ma'am?
Yeah, it happened.
Okay, that's
Because after
great.
them, he used to run away inside. He never showed his face till he retired.
Okay.
Because you're so guilty. I don't know what made him. Who knows if somebody's taking something which might have triggered. We do not know the actions, Then, he used to feel so guilty. When I used to walk on the corridor to go to my department, he would run away, avoiding me. And he retired under me, within 1 year or something. You won't believe I gave him a send-off, a very decent send-off. He felt so miserable, so guilty, because it's my duty to do that.
Correct.
He felt at my feet and asked for apology, saying that even then, after the episode, when I withdrew the case, he came and did it to me. But when he retired also, he felt very regretful. After that, you have to forgive and move on. What is that you can do with such people?
That's your
Correct.
magnanimity.
What to do,
That's
Sharan?
magnanimity.
Because you cannot survive with that
Everybody-
guilt.
That is true.
After you send him to jail and his family suffers,
Something
I don't
happens
think
to
you
them.
will do
For
justice
no
to
fault
yourself.
of theirs
Yeah,
again.
and poor children,
Correct.
the wife, why punish somebody, I thought. And after that, the man reformed. I'm just telling you, I've seen many
Right.
people changing after
Correct.
certain things have happened,
Mm.
Many things have happened that way.
True.
Amazing, amazing. So I think we had a fantastic conversation.
Yes.
And I can't thank both of you enough for being so candid with what you have said and being so honest from the heart, as what we say. Before we wind up, two things. I want each of you to give messages to our global audience. Two kinds of messages. One to the women, one to the men. So first, let's start with the women. So what is the message you want to give women? Different ages. Everybody at different stages in their life. So let's not distinguish that, oh, you're now young, only you get this message. How to balance, family time, baby, this, that, everything else. And make sure you're sort of done justice, not one at the cost of the other. Madam, you go first.
I think you should have a planned life. You should really think of the different stages of your life. Go about thinking what is best to be done to keep your family intact, your profession intact. And it's not the age, because you are with different responsibilities in different age groups.
Correct.
Accordingly, you have to adapt and change and fit and get into the groove of what you want to do. Otherwise, you cannot achieve your end if you have staggerings in between and all. But you should have a free flow. And as you said, the passion is the drive.
Mm.
Absolutely. So thank you, madam. What do you have to say to the men?
Men, I should say, should be supportive of women in whatever, because now is the world where both have to be in unison with each
Correct.
other. It is not confined that it's your job and this is my job. It's not like that. Because a woman has entered the man's world now. So there's no stopping of her. Neither she can say she's also equal. See, she has some responsibilities which are created by nature.
Correct.
No, a man can't have a baby, even if he wants to have
No,
a
not
baby.
like that. Yeah, nature, yeah, that is true. The responsibility
No,
lies.
I have seen
it doesn't
men
mind.
trying to appear pregnant and things. But I said, boss, you can put a physical weight here, but hormonal things, you have no clue what's
You
going
can't
on.
create one.
Exactly, can't create
I
one.
said that is the best word is in different phases of life, and the boy should be taught right from the young age, from home,
I think
that
so.
you are different from a girl and you should not do this, you should do this. And I think both of them should be given the equal responsibility right from young age, and they give the fitment. I think they'll move in the thought process of the same. As they grow to be men, they're going to be husbands or they become fathers. Everybody will give a supportive hand to the woman who can achieve and bring laurels to you and fame to everything to achieve. So her achievements will speak for you.
Fantastic.
So she needs that support, and that moral support only can be the man of her life.
Correct.
So I want to add something here, madam. My own 2 cents worth of it to the. One is I want to tell every mother that don't treat your daughter and son differently.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of people saying son, allow them to do everything, and the daughter is different. That's the biggest crime that you're doing. And secondly, I've also seen families, educated families, where if the girl doesn't give birth to a male child, they punish the girl. So, madam, I want to put sense into their head.
Until they know
Y
the
chro-
decision
no,
is
madam,
taken.
You forget all of that. The Y chromosome comes from that fellow, no?
Yeah, that's
She
what
has
the-
nothing. She is double X.
Yes.
So please understand, guys, The woman has only 2 X chromosomes. Man is XY. The Y comes from the man. So next time
Very
anybody in your family, your daughter-in-law or somebody does not give birth to the boy baby, the fault is not with the woman, the fault is with the man.
Very right.
You got the point? If this is one message you take, it's the man who's at fault. You check his sperms, you do what you want to do, put him upside down. You can't get double Y for him anyway. So calm down, be relaxed, and then it's okay. Then everything is fair in love and war, is what they say. So coming back to you.
Yeah, I just want to add to what ma'am says. I think from my perspective, what I would recommend to people is, I think each of us have something called self-esteem, whether it's a man or a woman. Somewhere, I think people, that there is a fine line between self-esteem and ego. So when that fine line gets crossed, ego becomes bigger, then you kind of lose out the battle, right? So if that
The
can be
aham.
the aham comes in. The moment the aham, whether it is a male or the female, the moment the aham comes in, the game is over. So if it is to be a balanced family, whether for a woman or for a man, like she said, the cooperation is required, and the cooperation will only come when that thin line is not crossed. The self-esteem is very important. Each and every one of us need to have. But if it crosses, you lost the game. I think that's all. So the little bit of juggle from the girls' side, sometimes, like I always tell my young girls who come into, either marital counseling or anything like that, it's always better to give and then take rather than take and then give. I mean, we are taught from every perspective. So it's good that you as a girl has got married to another family. See what you can give to the family rather than what can I get from the family. So I think that's a very small tip I would give, and I have been giving a lot of people in marital counseling, and that has worked for a lot of thousands of people. So it can work for everybody else also.
You're
I think this
absolutely
is
right.
my
I agree with
take
your
home.
statement.
I
Take
give
yourself.
one more point, my perspective. I tell people, the man and the woman, when they want to get married, the moment 2 human beings are merging, the I is gone.
Yeah,
It has to become we.
correct.
Please sit together and decide what is that we want to do together.
True.
See, my money, my thing, your family, my family. I mean, where is
Doesn't
this
work
going to
out.
end? It's not. It's our family, our thing, our everything. We cry
Right.
together, we laugh together, we celebrate together, and that's the easiest way, madam. And no point having a scoreboard. Yesterday you did like this, kal ye kiya. I mean, come on, guys.
I word is to be removed.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have liking this podcast that we've been putting out for you guys, the passion you can see, we are really committed to make a difference in each of your lives. Please make sure you subscribe to your channel, you share it, you subscribe to it, you press the bell icon, and definitely you have to comment, because those comments will also motivate us. We know what you're thinking, whether what content we're giving is useful for
Yeah.
you. Do you want us to do any follow-up thing?
Correct.
We can do that for sure. And again, don't forget to pick up the book, Rebooting the Brain. We have the documentary, look for it. There's so much of stuff we are having today with 4G, 5G, 6G, everything is available. Don't look at useless videos. Look at some useful videos also, because it is your life, your family at the end of
Yes.
the day. So I'm ending this with saying thank you very much to these 2 fantastic extraordinary women.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Madam and Dr. Pratibha, we have a customary, thing of handing over the book to our esteemed guests. I can't give it to you because you are the co-author of this book.
Absolutely.
But together, let us give it to Madam.
Yes.
Madam, we have written this
Thank
book,
you.
Rebooting the Brain.
Thank you very much.
We would love you to read it.
Give my feedback.
Yes.
Please.
100%.
To know what is going on. And this part 1, many more parts to come.
Yeah, I look forward for further editions. Thank you.
Thank you.